Still sand.
Alright, let's see.
Nether rack. I'm gonna drive back home. I'll be back in a bit. Okay. Like a while. I think I have a lot of stuff open anyway. Oh gosh. I had Laura's stream open and then I didn't realize the volume was on.
Sorry.
And like it was my voice like back at me. I'm like, ah, why is it so loud in my ear?
Yeah, sorry. I'm
It's
lowering
okay.
decibels a little bit.
I got muted it, so.
Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, because I also put you guys at full volume on the other computer where it wasn't working, and now I don't need it to be that loud.
So I just heard my voice as ooh. I'm like, ah, why is it so loud?
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just here.
Yeah, but we love having you here. Okay.
Exactly.
Yay, I'm loved.
Yes.
All the love.
All the love. Okay. Sis, are you, well, is one of you watching my stream so that you can tell me if the volume is good on all of us?
Hold on.
I am.
Okay.
I am too. I had you muted for a second.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to mute this one over here, but it's giving me issues. I might just have to fully restart my computer because it was working so well this morning.
I mean, it seems to be working okay as far as
Yeah.
everybody's volume.
Yeah.
Okay, so I figured out the volume then. It's just that on this computer, because this is the Surface Pro and not my all-in-one, I can't really run Sims on this. I mean, I could, but it's gonna be such annoying, so we're just gonna be reading today.
Okay.
Okay.
I will share my screen at one point. I just gotta pull up. I gotta pull up DU now on here.
Yeah.
I was all ready to go, and then my computer decided to fuck me. So we're just not gonna do the Sims thing. I was gonna show it off a little bit, but now I'm like, okay, that'll just be another day. Today is purely a reading.
Yeah. Maybe my chair blocking trees.
Is anyone we know in your chat?
Besides Nick, that's it.
Just Trouble. Okay.
Trouble. But he's
He likes it when I call him Trouble.
Yeah, but he's going home right now because he was at our grandma's house.
Right. So he's Okay. I'm just gonna keep my thingy open so I can watch just my own chat. But yeah.
Oh, I know where the heck
Okay.
it is.
But yeah, I changed it to just chatting, so. And then I'll be reading on here. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Come on and chat.
Ooh.
Left my boat because there's a ferry in it and didn't want to get out my damn boat. Hello, villager.
Okay.
Cherry blossom crab is. Ugh. Ferry.
But yeah. Okay. We'll see. Okay. So we're gonna start reading. Yeah. Let me just move my thingy. So that way we can share the screen a little bit.
I know Eli is having internet issues.
Oh, he's been having them this week though, huh?
Yeah. Last week and this week. He said he probably won't be back till, what did he say, the 17th, I believe?
Seriously? Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for Eli. That sucks.
I know.
It's really annoying, especially because he wanted to hear this.
I know.
But it's okay. I mean, at least it'll be on our channel, so you can always look at it back at it, you know? Alright, we'll start the reading.
Yeah.
So, Let me know if I get too loud because I'm holding the mic now like it's a wine glass.
Oh.
It's so much fun to hold it this way.
How come in?
And I don't know, it feels intimate, like I'm holding the back of your neck.
Oh my gosh.
I
Don't
love
be
it.
spicy.
I'm acting.
No.
I'm getting in character. Anyways,
Okay.
it would be very dummy of me, wouldn't it?
It would be
Mm.
very much dummy of you.
Yep. All right. So hopefully you guys are like settled in for a good story. I'm gonna start reading. Do we want to talk about? Do I just start reading, or do you want to say anything about Deity University before we start?
Just start reading, I guess.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Chapter 1. Introductions. Listening to press coverage, Panic at the Disco. Watching all the future gods stream onto campus is bizarre, especially when they're driving in cars like this. All those luxurious, sleek angles. From the hoard ornament, I can tell it's a Greek deity's car. As it was explained to me, the Greeks buy from the brand of cars called Pegasus, the Romans buy from Chariot. I can't remember the other 6 brands, unfortunately. I only paid attention to the 2 I could easily recognize. I just remember that the brands had something to do with the types of vehicles the gods used in the past. Of course, they all look like regular cars. Any other human wouldn't notice them on the road, other than the model probably. A girl with wine-colored hair steps out of the Pegasus. I wonder if it's natural and who she's related to. She's quick to follow the thinning crowd. They're all heading through the entrance hall building that leads onto campus. I got here early to explore the grounds, so I already got a picture of the inside. It reminds me of the chapels back home. Large, stark, judgmental, and pretentious, albeit well decorated. The oppressive feeling in my chest when I stepped inside didn't help. When it got more intense, I had to leave. Thank the goddess I was the only person in there at the time. Since then, I've taken to waiting outside in the shade on the side of the building. The air is crisp, and the grass still feels dewy beneath my shoes. The ground gives in leisurely when I shift my weight. The bricks cool against my back. The crushing pressure is still there, and has been steadily growing over the last few hours. But I've adapted to it the way I do with everything. Slow breaths in and out as I play with the lid on my golden lighter. It makes the most satisfying clicking noise. Aiutami idea. Still, no response. I suppose I shouldn't expect one. Most people don't after all. I crave another cigarette despite my chest already feeling full of smoke. This isn't my first time having to wait, and it won't be my last. Good things come to those who wait. Breathe in, breathe out, click. The discomfort would make someone less resilient squirm, but I've always thrived under pressure. No matter what I have to endure, it will always be worth it. This is nothing. Once I see her, I won't even remember the last few hours. So, this is what a university for gods looks like. Somehow I never pictured it be this easy to get to. I imagined somewhere above the clouds, not somewhere here on Earth, and certainly not a place I could ride to, but here we are. Feet still touching the ground. I distract myself by people watching and trying to figure out what pantheon they might be from. There are less students streaming onto campus now as it gets closer to 11. From what I've gathered, that's when orientation begins. The next impressive car I see is completely black with a window tint so dark it's surely illegal. Well, it would be, if a little demigod wasn't driving it. On the back of the car, I see a faint gold decal. From afar, it looks like a cage, but as it drives past, it seems to be one of those palanquins that people carry. A tall, shy-looking girl steps out, heading for the entrance hall with hardly a glance around. When I see an all too familiar figure on a pristine red chariot, I turn towards the woods. Even without looking back over my shoulder, I can easily recall the wild waves of her dark hair covering her shoulders, the warmth in her eyes and skin, her softness, the location of every mole, the way her voice can bite and soothe. I can feel her presence, the heat of her against my back. I can almost swear she's already got a hand on me. All the stress and frustration that has built up over the last several weeks melts off with her presence finally nearby after so long. My lungs no longer feel like they're being bruised by my ribs caging them in. I want to turn around and fall to my knees before her. I want to enjoy the comfort even at the definite cost of her wrath. but it's not time for that yet. Time to find another shadowy corner. Patience, her voice whispers in my mind, and for a moment, I'm sure she spotted me. Alright, and then it switches to Domi's perspective, and this is her chariot.
Quick question.
Yes?
When Ava's lines come in, you want me to read them?
Yes. When Ava's talking. Oh, you guys...
Double check.
Yeah. I do... Hold on, I gotta change my stream, so it's not sharing. And I'm just back to just chatting. Because I don't want to be showing everything in there. They can't know all the secrets, like all my little fonts and stuff.
Right?
So there's that. Alright. Alright, Domi. When I climb off my chariot, I notice a few stairs. Seems I'm one of the few not driving a car, and it seems that more than half the cars in the lot are luxury models. There are a few Camaros and Bentleys. It seems most have opted for sports cars or classic models in good condition. There are a handful of average cars. Hardly any other bikes besides mine. Well, the plan was always to make an entrance. When I pull my helmet off, I hear a few hushed whispers and gasps. A glance down at one of my mirrors tells me it's not because my hair is messed up. No more than usual, anyhow. My hair always has a tousled look about it. It's like me, wild and hard to manage. It's constantly like I just rolled out of someone's bed, and at this point, I no longer worry about it. I just push it back into place. I take my backpack off so I can put my gloves and helmet away. There's a delightful chill in the air. I'm tempted to check my acceptance letter, but I know the instructions by heart. They won't read something different now after the 5th reading. Besides, Dad told me where to go. All freshmen are to head to the entrance hall. The entrance hall is a tall, 3-story building with pale faded bricks and massive double doors. Tall rose bushes guard and vines of ivy creep more than halfway up the building. The only way onto campus is through here. Dad said trying to go around the building just gets you lost. The only fence is the woods surrounding the campus. Of course, that's just to keep the humans out. The woods are the only deterrent that's needed. Dad reassured me that I shouldn't fear anything in the woods or in the school. Fear gives power, and I shouldn't allow anything to have power over me. When I step up to the doors, a guy holds the door open for me. I nod politely and whisper thanks. The room is filled with people from all walks of life. It's hard to say where anyone is from. The main hall is a long, wide building with a high ceiling, a large stained glass dome in the center. I estimate that it would comfortably fit 3 ballrooms. Looking up, it reminds me of the cathedrals at home. Looking around, it feels like there's more than 800 students. Dad told me there's 8 pantheons. Each pantheon has up to 100 students total, meaning each year the head gods select 25 promising students for their pantheon's freshman class. Of course, with the numbers of gods having offspring dwindling nowadays, there's usually less. Not to mention that not all students make it through the 4 years. Apparently, the trend with the past few generations has been for godlings to withdraw before their senior year, retaining their abilities while refusing the responsibility of becoming gods, not wanting to go through the final trials which are notoriously dangerous. So it's even less likely that the senior class ends up with the full 200 students should. With so many people, I'm surprised by how conversation is kept to a dull murmur. Even the clicking of heels on glittering marble seems muted. We all recognize that this is a sacred space. As I find a place to stand in the middle of the crowd, I notice the small stage that has been erected just a few paces back from the center of the room. The doors leading onto campus are barely visible past it. There is an ornately carved podium at the center of it with an interesting man standing behind it. His skin is the color of warm terracotta. He's wearing a turquoise suit and a feathered headdress that has a turquoise bird on it. There's some minor red and black face paint on his cheeks. He appears a little out of place, but no less stately. He carries himself like he's in charge. The longer I look at him, I become aware that he very much is. A glance down and I realize he's not the only one. I'm not sure how I missed them. A long table is set in front of the raised podium. There are 7 seats, each one filled. These are the head gods of the 8 different pantheons. I feel a charge skitter across my skin when I meet eyes the color of pale green grapes. Near the center there is a thin blue ring and flecks of brown. The color that's amplified changes with the light, from a clear sky to the color of the light filtered from trees for an inviting amber shade. I imagine that though he's here, his eyes still manage to reflect his view of Earth from above. Jupiter, Jove, this king, Skyfather. A million other titles and epithets synonymous with him flit through my mind. The hairs on my arms and neck stand up. He smiles softly, just a small glimpse of teeth. His mild look of amusement and patience makes him appear ageless, but my lord knows he's eons old, despite how familiarly his eyes twinkle. His curly salt and pepper hair puffs up around his head like a halo. Or perhaps the clouds is a more apt description, a beard to match. So, this is what it's like to be standing before true divinity. To say it's humbling is an understatement. It leaves one feeling extremely vulnerable, but at the same time, so safe. What a strange feeling to have in a room full of strangers. When he pulls his gaze away from mine, I realize I've been holding my breath. Thankfully, it seems I didn't hold our Lord's attention for longer than a few moments. He leans over to whisper to the man to his left, their elbows nearly touching. My gaze follows his movement, and as he whispers, the other man's gaze meets mine. I'm struck again by a jolt that stills my frame. This man is fairly different, and yet he has the same quality of endless patience. He hardly spares me a glance before his honey-gold eyes lower, looking dark brown as he angles his head slightly towards Jupiter as he listens. A faint smile tugging there that's practically a smirk. His face is more tan and angular, his hair much the same color as his counterpart, but paler and straw-like. It's neatly combed flat, and instead of a full beard, he's just got some stubble. They don't look alike, but with the same air about them, I'm fairly certain. Zeus. A glance down at their clothing, and my suspicions are confirmed. Zeus is wearing a royal blue suit with a Phoenician purple dress shirt. He's wearing a circular lightning bolt pin that has a bird on it. My guess is it's an eagle. How regal. A modern look at the ancient fashions of the color scheme. Jupiter is wearing a blue linen suit with a pale gold tie and pocket square. Jupiter has a circular pin, which is a lion roaring. Again, it's a modern take, but it's a bit more subtle, having more to do with the material used. It's funny. I'd imagined that the first time I'd see divinity, they'd look a lot more out of place. But I suppose that the reason we don't usually see evidence of their presence is because they got better at blending in. The sound of a throat clearing directs my attention back up to the man standing behind Jupiter at the podium. Noise makes me realize Jupiter's sitting at the center of the table. How did I miss him? When the man at the podium finally speaks, his voice is heavily accented, a mix between a mix between Spanish and something older. His voice sounds dry, but it carries well. Welcome all. I am Shutikutli, and this year I get the honor of welcoming you all. We are all very excited to see what you can do and have high hopes that you'll do well. To the returning classes, we hope you'll continue to carry yourselves with dignity and keep up the accomplishments you managed last year. Finally, to the senior class, we are eager to see who succeeds, which we do hope is all, but we understand that not all are cut out to take on the responsibility of a full god. We hope this will be a memorable year. He keeps it short, but it's clear why when each god stands up one by one to recite the speech in their language while introducing themselves. The first person to speak after Shutikutli is Jupiter. Even as Jupiter repeats the speech in Italian, hearing it spoken in his voice makes it sound completely different. So, this is the original way it was spoken. A love language indeed. After Jupiter speaks, then Zeus speaks in what I imagine is Greek, because the next language I recognize enough words to piece together is Latin. It surprises me when the next person to speak isn't the man sat on Zeus' right, but the gods to the left. I don't recognize the language the man speaks, but I can guess that he's the Chinese head god from the traditional red jacket he is wearing. Dad mentioned something about the gods usually wearing the most noticeable color of their pantheon. The beautiful woman next to him is speaking Japanese, I think. Some words sound familiar, plus she's wearing those traditional jade robes that I've definitely seen in an anime before. Her hair is done up in a bun. The man next to Jupiter then speaks. I'm beginning to remember what Dad told me about the order of the gods, and by process of elimination, I can guess that this is the Egyptian head god, Osiris. The god to the right of Zeus speaks, and his voice sounds fairly guttural at first before it smooths out a little into what I can recognize as German. Also, knowing Jupiter and Zeus are standing beside him makes it easier to recognize Odin. When Odin is done going through French and most other European languages, the man standing at the furthest right end speaks. The man recites in two languages, one that I recognize as being Spanish. Being a future love goddess, Dad pushed me to recognize and understand the love languages at least. As interesting as the languages sound when being said by literal gods, it's hard to focus after getting used to the different rhythm of their voices in their language. It's nostalgic, though, the way words take on a different cadence when said in a church. It's soothing. I can feel the energy in the room shift depending on who is speaking. I can see who is leaning forward with full attention when their God speaks. When the man at the podium speaks up again, I have no idea what he's saying, but that is also when I hear someone whispering to themselves in a language I know I heard earlier. To my left, there's a tall girl with wine-colored hair. It's a dark burgundy color that's closer to purple than red. Almost eggplant. In darker lighting, her hair could be mistaken for black. She's gorgeous, with full lips and high cheekbones. Her dark jeans hug her shapely legs, a red peplum top that appears tailored for her, and a white blazer. She doesn't just look like a model. She looks like a descendant of Venus. It takes me a moment to recognize that her shoulders are tense. Her fingertips linger around the simple turquoise necklace that's nestled into the hollow of her throat. Her lips moving silently. Praying, perhaps. For a moment, I debate with myself. Do I want to risk offending the gods by speaking? But then, what if I miss my chance to get to know her? I take a small step closer, a smaller one than I'm used to taking, as I lean to whisper to her. Apparently, I'm willing to risk the gods' favor. In my defense, she is gorgeous. Qual è quella lingua? It takes her a moment to realize I'm talking to her. I change tactics since it's clear she doesn't immediately understand. Do you speak English?
Yes, I speak English. And it's just a default to speak in Greek. I am Ava.
Ah, one of Zeus's flock. A descendant of Aphrodite, then. Then again, most goddesses are beautiful. I catch another willowy girl looking around nervously out of the corner of my eye. She's beautiful with a delicate, elegant frame. Her features are dainty. Her long black hair and dark eyes are captivating. Like a doll of one of those actresses from a K-drama. A long sleeve off-the-shoulder top tucked into a short flared skirt accentuates her collarbones, tiny wrists, waist, and hips. A thin black velvet choker around her throat. Ava seems to notice her at the exact same time, and when we make eye contact with her, she waves. Ava motions her over before I can, and she approaches us cautiously. There's a sweet gentleness to her, a humbleness. She makes her presence small to blend into the shadows. I don't think she knows how pretty she is. We can change that. I smile and nod to her. Hello, I'm Domitia, but don't call me that. Give me any nickname you want. I don't think I need to add it as long as it's respectful with these two.
Well, my full name is Avanya, but it's easier to go by Ava, so
I get it. Ava it is.
it's nice to meet you, Dot. And you are?
I smile at Dot. That's not a nickname I've heard yet. It sounds awfully cute.
And you are?
Ava addresses the other girl. Sis, were you not prepared? Twin.
No, I had my mic off because I was chatting with people in my stream. Sorry.
I love it.
I don't want to interrupt your reading. Sorry.
I thought you were
My
participating.
name is I was listening.
I love it.
Hold on. My name is Kazumi. It's nice to meet you both.
Do you have a nickname you go by, or do you like Kazumi, I ask?
Azumi or Kami, or you could just call me by my full name.
Her chin tilted down, straightening her already perfect skirt.
Mommy sounds like a cute nickname.
Ava smiles. Kazumi blushes lightly. Adorable. For a moment, I completely forget I'm part of the conversation. I like Kami too. It suits her.
Thank you.
She smiles shyly. Where are you both from? What pantheon do your ancestors belong to? I'm from Venice and My dad belongs to the Roman pantheon. I try to smooth over the moment of hesitation. Thank Jove that neither seemed to notice, but that might just be them being polite. I feel a little guilty for hoping that they're so nervous about themselves that they don't notice my slip-up.
I'm from Greece, Crete specifically. My grandparents belong to the Greek pantheon.
That sounds exciting. Is this your first year as well? I'm a freshman. What about you, Kami?
I'm from Matsui, Japan. I'm a freshman too.
Same here, that's cool. Do you two want to grab lunch after this?
Ava asks as she glances
Sure.
back up at the gods. I'm glad I'm not the only one a little nervous in their presence.
Sure.
Kami nods. Yes, that sounds good. I smile, crossing my arms over my chest, looking back at Shutekutli as I hear him switch back to English, grabbing everyone's attention. Now onto the tours. Once the tours are over, you'll be dismissed for the day. The gods that we're translating stand up together as Zeus calls for everyone in the Greek pantheon to follow. Jupiter calls for all the Romans. I can't help the frown that crosses my face. Damn, I guess we're splitting us up now. Meet at the dining hall for lunch. Since your group is going first, try and grab us a table if you can, Ava. If not, I'll get us one. See you. I follow Jupiter.
Of course. See you.
I'll try. See you two then.
Ava calls after me as she heads to her group. Okay. Give me a second.
Okay. Oops, what did I fall in?
Seems we're doing good time-wise.
I think so too,
Yeah.
but the thing is, chapter 1 is it's short compared to chapter 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I put cutoff points weird. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Most of this next part is mostly you.
I know. That's why I was like, give me a second. Alright. Chapter 2, Tours and Confrontations, listening to Trouble by Valerie Broussard. Domi. The tours are split up a few minutes apart so the gods don't overlap and have to speak over each other. It appears to be ordered by the smallest group to the largest. In the end, my group goes before either of theirs. Standing before Jupiter is anxiety-inducing. I can feel his pressure rolling off him. It's familiar, but that doesn't make it comfortable. The power coming off him is both addictive and frightening. What must a human feel if I can hardly fill my lungs? Do I give off even a fraction of this? Is this why people were wary? Jupiter smiles as he leads us out the other set of massive double doors, and we get our first look at campus. It's magnificent. It feels warmer here. I only need a light sweater here, where in the parking lot it felt like a proper jacket was necessary. A gentle breeze and a vibrant feel welcome us. As I'm sure most of you already know from the brochure or your parents, this school was built during the Renaissance when some of us realized we had to keep doing our job. We'd essentially retired until there was a call for us. It took us a while, even with our recognition, so we haven't been open the entire time, but the school has a lot of history in it. A fond smile graces his lips as he looks back up at the entrance hall. Our Lord is right that this isn't the first time I'm hearing this, but this may be the first time I'm listening. Jupiter has such a polarizing voice, so jovial and dreamy. When Dad explained this as I read the brochure, it didn't sound half as interesting. It's a different experience to be here looking up at the massive buildings. I can feel the time and love put into it over the centuries. It's a certain warmth that I can hear glowing in Jupiter's tone. I feel so small, but also a part of something much grander. It's similar to the feeling I got when I first stepped into one of Jupiter's temples. We often have to rebuild, but we generally like to keep the style similar to when we first gathered together to build it. After all, you can't go wrong with the classics. He winks at us, and his eyes twinkle when there's a handful of laughter. At first, it was just Zeus and myself. Then Odin joined us. We obviously were not the oldest pantheons, but we were the quickest to adapt. I feel some pride when I remember Dad pointing out that the Romans were considered one of the most powerful civilizations, and that's why people still talk about us. History mixed with myths and legend is why we still have power. Jupiter sighs tiredly and says a line I've heard Dad say before. Humans can be so capricious with their faith. There is a moment of silence after the melancholy spills out. It sounds so much deeper from Jupiter. I can hear the years in his voice. I never really took it seriously before, but then I didn't imagine I would be on this path until I got here. Becoming a god won't be easy, and staying one will be even harder. Even if I get through these trials, they will not compare to what I'll actually have to do to keep the attention of mortals. Already, so many have disappeared because there was no longer a call for them. I can hear the weight of their names on Jupiter's tongue. Names that likely only he remembers now because humanity forgot. I shudder when Dad's face pops into my head. I forget that he was once among the minor gods that would have ceased to exist. Were it not for the handful who knew his name and my mother, I would not be standing here now. Jupiter shakes his head and the clouds clear, just the barest of smiles before he continues. The others followed our lead and paired up to assist each other before they eventually joined us here. Still, as you'll notice, there are many that haven't joined us and others which have faded considerably. To prevent fading, our goal is to eventually involve the other pantheons. I'm sure some of you have heard already, but some of the others are difficult to interact with, hence why there are only 8 here. I had no idea they were still holding out hope that the school would grow. Dad doubted it would ever happen because of how stubborn and set in their ways some of the gods are. Others simply prefer to remain in their territory, as that's how they choose to protect themselves, which I cannot fault them for. As you know, this is neutral ground. Right, Dad mentioned this. Since the school is neutral ground, this essentially means that while Jupiter is in charge of us, he isn't in charge of the school. The one who is in charge changes each year. However, Dad mentioned that Jupiter and Zeus were considered the enforcers regardless of who was officially in charge since they started the school. I think he was trying to reassure me that Jupiter would look out for me. All of us here have agreed to... Let me do that again. Jesus. All of us here have agreed to respect each other, and we expect you to follow suit. Not to mention that nowadays there are less of us, but perhaps that will make the eventual integration easier. Jupiter says, brow furrowing with something before he lights back up. Oh, but do listen to me go on. I apologize. I know most of this is old news. Jupiter makes a dismissive gesture like he's been rambling unimportant nonsense. But one glance around tells me that all of us are stunned. Some of us may have had an inkling and heard pieces of this from our parents, but this is the first time where it's felt like we are included. We are part of their grand plans for their future. Jupiter points to the closest building on our right, which is squat and wide with soft yellow bricks and a white roof. The main entrance has a set of double doors with blue tinted glass. I notice that there is a similar building that seems to be attached to the side of the dining hall, and it has another set of doors that face to the side. I can see windows along the side of the building. That is the dining hall. Attached to it is the student store where you'll find your books and most anything else that's necessary. The lines can get quite long these first few days, but I wouldn't wait. Jupiter switches seamlessly to Italian as he repeats himself. Next to that is a long building that apparently holds the offices of the main gods. Right next to it is the infirmary, a place that hopefully none of us sees the inside of. Even from the outside, it appears incredibly wide, a reminder that this school isn't a joke. It's rare, but it isn't unheard of for a student to die in their first year, or having something worse befall them. For us, death is not always the end. Prometheus, Sisyphus, and Atlas come to mind, not to mention the sting across my back at the punishment that the Propiotides, Medusa, Lamia, and Arachne were subjected to. The buildings straight across from the main hall are all themed. They are in 2 rows, offset so we can see all 8 of them. Jupiter points out the 2 left buildings that I don't recognize and explains that they're modeled after a Chinese imperial palace and a Japanese temple. The Egyptian pyramid, Colosseum, and Greek temple are obvious. The building that would be at home in Skyrim turns out to be the Norse Viking longhouse. The Mayan temple is a flat-topped pyramid that has a square building on top. The Aztec temple looks similar, but it has 2 buildings on top with pointed roofs. Jupiter mentions that we probably won't be allowed or invited to the other buildings except for special reasons, but he thinks it's good to know where everything is. Before turning to the final building, Jupiter explains that the field we're on will be used for most of our physical classes, and that outside of class times we can use it for any form of recreation we'd like, as long as it isn't too disruptive or dangerous. Finally, the tour ends with the dorms. The dorms are directly across from the main office and dining hall, completing this square of buildings around us. We've all been casting glances at it since we stepped out of the entrance hall. How could we not? It looks like an accident. The architecture is kind of impressive from what Jupiter tells us. It seems that initially all the gods worked separately when they began to build the apartments their students would stay in. But after having to rebuild and expand, they found themselves pressing into each other's boundaries until they stopped resisting the inevitable integration. While there are separate entrances, he explains that the hallways lead into each other. It's like someone took 8 highly stylized apartment buildings and pressed them together until they melded. Now I can clearly remember the order, the pantheons that Dad mentioned. From left to right, it's Chinese, Japanese, Egyptian, Roman, Greek, Norse, Mayan, and Aztec. Of course, my eyes were naturally drawn to the one section that seemed familiar. It's stately like the architecture back home. It's interesting to see the other 7. Each section has its own archway that gives a peek inside along with a symbol above it. He points the entrances out, but I recognize Jupiter's symbol above the archway. Jupiter seems a little embarrassed about having to point out his own symbol, which looks like a fancy 4 or 21. But from the way a few people are staring at it and counting the entrances, it's clear that they haven't seen it before. Of the other symbols, I can only recognize Zeus's. Sagittarius. Before you go, as though any of us were going to walk away. I mean, who walks away from a god before they're finished? Jupiter pulls out a stack of cards that are almost the same shade as his suit from a clipboard I hadn't noticed that he'd been carrying. Here are your class schedules and room keys. He starts calling us alphabetically using our first names. The names we'll be addressed by as gods. I grit my teeth as I brave swore. Domitia. I manage not to flinch at the familiar sharp burn across my back. I ignore the feeling the best I can as I step forward and put my hands out. The simple gold key is taped to the paper below the room number, 7F. I feel a rash of annoyance and embarrassment when I realize I've grabbed it with both hands at the corners with my head bowed. My eyes focus on the ground before his feet. My head tingles with his attention on me, and I realize he hasn't let go. He's waiting for me to make eye contact. Damn. So much for making a good impression. My skin buzzes as his gaze lingers on my hands before moving back up to my face. That is your name, is it not, my dear? You're Subagus's daughter? My stomach rolls over at my father's name, not to mention that this is the first time Jupiter has addressed me. This close, I can feel the pressure of his words molding my bones. I can feel his power. I can almost taste his energy. It's the healing freshness of a rain after a drought. It's soothing. I hear some hushed whispers and soft gasps behind me that make me suppress a wince. Come on, Domi, whose daughter are you? I straighten my spine and make the effort to look him straight in the eye. Still, it takes me a moment before I remember he asked me something. What with all the colors I can see in his eyes close up? Great. Getting starstruck in the presence of my dad's boss. My future boss. Yes, sir. I manage before my eyes flick back down an old habit. You don't like your name. His brow is quirked and his head tilts to the side. It's not a question, so I don't answer it like one. It's outdated and it doesn't suit me anymore. I prefer a nickname. Anything from Domi to Tia. Any kind at all will do as long as it's respectful. I inwardly wince. Damn it, it just rolled off the tongue. He's our king. It doesn't matter what he calls us. All right then, my dear. I'll make a note of it. He finally lets go of the paper, but it's not until his eyes release me that I remember he's not what's grounding me. I am. I step away, breathing easier when I'm not in arm's reach. Still, he didn't dismiss me or anyone else, so I remain just like the others. He's so patient. Everyone hesitates when they're called to approach, but he doesn't appear to mind. Well, he is a king, so he's probably used to it. When all the cards are handed out, he looks up and seems to realize we're all still waiting. You're all free to go about your day now. I'll see you all tomorrow morning during the exhibition of your abilities, so rest up, he announces cheerily once he's composed himself, and then he cuts through us to head to the main office. This time when he speaks, I don't feel his energy washing through me. It's both a relief and a disappointment. I wonder if he is aware of how affecting his presence and voice are. Soothing like rain when you're indoors. Until it becomes a storm. A few people start to whisper to each other, some not knowing anything at all about what Jupiter was referencing when he mentioned the morning. Thankfully, I'm closer to a godling than a demigod. At least in my home life. Godlings are what we refer to as the direct children of gods, many of which have no trace of human blood. They're born with ichor in their veins. Their blood doesn't always look like ichor, but that doesn't change the fact that there's nothing human about them. Demigods are half human, but sometimes they're more human than divine. Sometimes they're the child or grandchild of a god's offspring. Half of the time, the demigod's divine parent or ancestor isn't involved in their life. Not many bother to have offspring anymore, so the university started to expand who would let in. Anyone with a scrap of potential in their blood has been invited. Myself included. That's why there are students here who are likely didn't find out where they were to have divine blood. Jesus, get out. That's annoying. Sorry, guys. I didn't think Bella would bark like that.
It's a dog, it happens.
Yeah. It's just Dad purposely opened my door
True.
knowing I told him earlier, like, not to bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just fucking with me at this point. You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah.
knows. He knows better, and he just wanted to, like, bring her in here to bark.
Be an asshole.
Yes. Because we're not paying attention to him. That's why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, continue.
I love it. Or do you guys like it? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad. I feel like I'm messing up a lot. I'm trying to, like...
We all are, so it's okay. We're reading this. It's not like we're actively typing it up like we were before. It's different.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like last time when I started to read it, I felt like I did a better job than I'm doing this time.
Come on.
Okay.
So, like, I'm, like, annoyed with myself. I'm like, come on.
This is the first time I've had to read out loud for a while, so bear with me.
I've been doing a little bit, but then I don't know. It feels like it sounds weird to me, but this is my voice though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I completely understand. Trust me, we listen to our phone calls for work
Mm-hmm.
because we're on a recorded line, so they play it back to us, like,
Mm-hmm.
so we can listen to them and hear our mistakes and stuff. And just
Yeah.
hearing my voice makes me cringe so bad.
No, I usually like my
Hearing
voice.
voice makes me like, ugh.
No,
I.
so I usually like my voice. It's just today I feel like I sound off. Like my cold has come back. Does that make sense? Like Saturday I felt like it was gone. And now it feels like, no, it's hanging around. Maybe it's...
Yeah.
I should also turn off my heater. Maybe that's why.
That
Maybe
might
it's
help
giving
a
me...
little bit.
Yeah,
It might be giving me issues.
Yeah.
And I might be dehydrated, so I'm gonna drink some water.
That too.
Because I feel like the first time I was reading this on the stream, I felt like I did really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I might have been reading slower. I don't know.
I feel like you're reading a little faster than the first time.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to slow but my brain is
No,
like...
you're good.
Hey, you're
It's a
though.
good
It's
pace.
fine. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to slow it down, so that way I don't mess up as much. But my brain is like,
But you're good. Don't worry about
ah.
it.
Get
Don't
through
worry
it.
about it.
Okay. Oh gosh. All right. I was at not many, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Not many bother to have offspring anymore, so the university started to expand who it let in. Anyone with a scrap of potential in their blood has been invited, myself included. That's why there are students here who likely didn't find out they were of divine blood until their acceptance letter came or a week ago when their parents told them to pack. Some, I'm sure, don't even know their lineage, what ability they might have, or any of their history. It's upsetting, honestly, looking around and seeing frightened, lost faces. I'm lucky. Were circumstances different, I wouldn't have got in. I have a human mother, but my divine father never left the picture. Still, demigod or godling, one thing makes us all the same. We don't gain control of our abilities until we're 18, sort of a second puberty. Jeez. My window suddenly closed. I was like, oh shit.
Oh.
Not good.
Oh
Okay.
gosh. Okay. We don't gain control of our abilities until we're 18. Sort of a second puberty. It's just as frustrating as the first, but in a shorter time frame. Depending on how much divine blood is in your system, along with the proximity to your ancestors, your abilities may show sooner. Faintly, of course, but having any actual control is incredibly rare. As far as I know, even the kids that were just made by a single divine parent take time to control their abilities. A girl with black and white hair catches my attention. The right half of her hair is white, the other half is black, like Monokuma. Her gray chiffon dress adds to her monochrome aesthetic. She hesitantly approaches two different people, but they shrug her off. I take a few steps closer and I feel the warning in my bones, the instinct to walk away kicking in. It's not a firm pull, though, nor is it often that I listen. When you live with a divine being, it's so easy to ignore the constant whispers of danger. When I step close to her, I can feel the warmth coming off her. She takes a step to the side without looking at me. I suppose she thinks I want to walk by, but when I remain where I am, she slowly turns to look at me. Her eyes are silver. When she makes eye contact, her hand wanders up to her pale lips. A reaction I'm used to, but it's still disheartening. I don't try to be intimidating, but it comes with the territory of being Subagus's daughter. Her nails match her eyes, but her cuticles are blackened. Yes, I see the question more than I hear it, the smallest movement of her lips. You look lost. Yes, what's happening tomorrow? She starts to turn towards me. So you're Subagus's daughter. I turn my head as a guy approaches us. He's dark-haired with a neat beard. He's got a golden rope looped around his broad shoulder. His smile is warm, but it fades as he approaches. He raises a brow as he glances between us. She gasps and bows her head before rushing into the dorms. I can't help but frown when she flees. Why were you talking to a death goddess? His dark eyes search my face in confusion. I release a sigh between clenched teeth. That was rude. He stares, so I elaborate. You scared her off. She looked lost. So, she's a death. Her ancestors or parents are. I cross my arm over my chest as I allow irritation to bleed into my tone. She isn't. Not yet. We can't just pass judgment on someone for their lineage. She might choose her own path. Even if she is, it doesn't matter to me. Everyone needs reassurance every now and again. Death gods aren't the exception. They can feel fear just like the rest of us. I turn away from him and head towards the student's door when I feel the heat bubbling inside me. I need to get a grip on my temper. I can't be using my influence recklessly. I'm just getting annoyed with myself.
You're good. You're doing good.
Yeah. Perhaps I snapped at him for more reasons than just hers, but I can't help it. I dislike the idea of judging someone based on their ancestors' past, as though they had a choice in their birth. I especially hate it when it's aimed towards someone who hardly knows their ancestor. I at least know my father, and while I don't condone his past actions, I do know who he was is not the same man he is now. I am determined not to take the first path he went down. Mine will purely be my own. Most people went into the dorms when Jupiter dismissed us, but a few like me head to the student store. Since I'm sure the girls will probably be a hot minute before they catch up, I take the opportunity that the line is short to grab all my books. Turns out I need the school's handbook and a history book for each pantheon. I notice none of the books have an author. My guess is that either all the gods actually got together to write their pantheon's history, or it's the main gods did. After I've got my books, I head to the dining hall through the connecting door. When I walk in, I'm one of the first people in the dining hall, and the whole room smells delicious.
Okay, pause it for just a second. The
Yeah.
power flipped out. I'm
What?
trying to get my computer on.
Her power went off. That's what it
Are
sounded
you
like, right?
serious? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Everything is against us today.
Isn't that
Just
always the case when we're on Discord?
no,
Yeah.
power hasn't really went off.
Well, I'm talking not stuff power, but I'm talking like stuff.
We get
freezing
technical
and
difficulties.
lagging, technical difficulties.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get on. Give me just like 5 minutes. I'm so sorry about this.
Okay.
It's okay.
But y'all know it's
It lets
not
me
something
breathe.
I have any control over.
It's
Holy
okay.
shit, I love it. It's just, what the fuck?
Yeah, when it happened, I was like, oh shit. And I'm like, I have to figure out how to let them know so it doesn't, like, they don't get to my part and then be like, Ruby, what are you doing? Ruby.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Lord, I hate
Things
when
happen.
that shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for, but now, like, I just realized that my laptop wants to die, probably. So I'm like,
Okay,
oh,
well then it's
shit.
a good time to
Fuck me. Jesus. Christ.
Too.
I'm Sally.
Okay.
That's so annoying. So many things went wrong.
I don't know why my stream is lagging. I don't know. I wasn't having issues the other day when I was playing it. So.
I know. I've noticed on my phone that my stream looks like it's lagging too, and I'm just like, God dang it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm doing this in my room and like the Wi-Fi, but I'm like, I did it in my room. I've been doing it in my room for the last couple of times, and it was fine.
Yeah.
All of a sudden today, it's like, oh no, we're not fine at all.
Today it's decided, I'm a misbehave.
Punch
Like-
the computer.
The one day all three of us get dressed up to do this, and it's just like everything wants to pick an attitude with us.
You're telling me.
I'm just running around.
Yeah.
So I know like my gameplay isn't that like entertaining because I don't want to get into doing too much stuff and then like it's my time to read. I'm like, hold on, I'm fighting zombies in a cave. I need to get out.
That would be glorious though. That'd be so funny.
Can't multitask. Can't.
It would, you know what? It would be so very calmy to like, I'm dealing with a zombie. Hold on.
Hold on. Give me a second. No. It would be, but I'm also just like, I'm
Holy
gonna die,
shit.
and then I'm gonna be pissed. I got to go find my stuff again.
Or like, a skeleton is giving me attitude. Hold on. It would just be so calmy.
It would be. It would
Oh,
very much
God.
be call me.
That's so funny.
Get in the door. Sorry. I didn't yell, but like.
Yeah, now I'm just waiting on my Discord to pop up and we'll be rocking and rolling.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I yelled that part a little too loud. I've never heard anybody's ears
It's okay.
watching.
It's their fault. They shouldn't have had you turned up too fast so far.
Well, I'm pretty quiet on most people's end, so
Yeah.
they tend to have me a little high, and then when they do, and then I accidentally yell, then I'm like, oops. I'm like, sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
You're like, I didn't mean to lose my temper there. Jeez.
This Darren thing is, I don't know why it's like, I don't know. Can't be because I'm in my room. Because I play Minecraft.
You've been
in my
playing
room
other
all the time
things.
yeah. Like, I've been playing Minecraft for so long in my room. I play with my cousin. And
Yeah.
So then, we're chatting and stuff, and it doesn't lag like this. I don't know.
What
Or else
page
my
are we at?
Discord- Oh.
What happened?
What do you mean, 30?
Page 31.
30.
What page on?
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
Am I only on page 30? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're on 30. Yeah.
Apparently, there's an anonymous beaver in the document.
What
Anonymous
It
beaver.
says anonymous beaver.
the heck? Okay.
Here, I'll take a picture.
I think for me it has a different animal, but yeah.
Oh, might be. I don't know. Maybe me.
It probably is you, because I think Ruby's it says it has an R for her.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I'm on my
Anonymous
phone,
beaver. Yeah, it's probably you. That's pretty funny.
so probably.
Anonymous beaver.
Yeah, I just thought I'd make sure everybody was aware there's an anonymous beaver on our document.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh gosh. Don't make me fall off of this, please. I'm at 27.
Oh, shit.
Level 27. Don't do this. Oh gosh.
No, because it's going to be stupid.
I want to ask the people if
It's
they
one
were
year
like.
Discord.
I want to ask the people if they were enjoying our reading.
Yeah. I was gonna, and then stuff started happening, and it's like, I haven't gotten a fight back. But I hope, besides all the technical difficulties, I hope y'all are enjoying the reading so far.
Gosh.
Also, like, I'm sorry I haven't been talking because I don't want to talk over my bestie. So I kind of had myself muted in the Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
was
why
waiting
when y'all
for
were
Ruby.
saying we're talking, I was saying it. I'm like, oh wait, I forgot I'm muted on Discord, so they don't know that I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, sometimes we don't. So.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I was reading it, then I was like, wait. Again, I was like, oh wait, crap. I'm muted on Discord, so that's why y'all can't hear me say Kami's lives.
Yeah.
I was like, how come they can't hear me? I'm saying it. And I was like, oh wait, it's because I'm muted. That's the reason why, numbnut. You're muted.
Back
Welcome back.
on everything.
Welcome back.
Yay. Oh, shoot, I realized there's Pokemon in chat. No, I missed it.
You missed it. Okay. Alright. What was I reading? Shit.
You were here. Find where I'm at. There you go.
Oh.
Up.
I know. But I gotta make my page scroll.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I have to be ahead of it where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I walk in, I'm one of the first people in the dining hall, and the whole... Brain,
Oh yeah.
why are you doing this to me?
It's okay.
Don't worry.
You got it. You got it.
I don't know why I'm getting so tongue-tied today. I swear to God, the first
It's
time
okay.
it was going so well. I'm just gonna
Deep
drink some more
breath.
water, Jesus.
Sit to yourself. Take a sip of water
You got this.
and read. You got it.
Yeah. You know what I can do here? I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Ah.
I have a candle here. There you go. Sorry, was that loud?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No,
Not for me.
I don't think so.
okay. I just blew a huge breath and I was just like, oh, because I know that this mic will pick that up. If,
I don't know. I do it and it didn't catch it, so I think you're fine.
okay, we good. I mean, I blew it in a different direction, but I did that earlier to the mic and it caught it and I was like, oops.
Mm.
Okay. When I walk in, I'm one of the first people in the dining hall, and the whole room smells delicious. The dining hall is a large room with tall windows along the back wall. The right wall next to the entrance is just a line of counters, but each one is separate just like the dorms. one for each pantheon with the traditional or familiar comfort food. When I go up to the counter, I get a big slice of lasagna, garlic bread, a small Caesar salad, and a pink lemonade. It's after I've got my tray of food that I notice how the tables are set up. There are 8 long tables, each set a few feet away from each counter. Each one has a gold marking in the center belonging to their head god. There's also a gold chair that faces away from the counters with the god's emblem. What just happened?
Jesus. When did you come in here? This. Oh my god, I almost had a freaking heart attack.
Ooh, what was it?
It was a pigman.
Oh,
Where did
Oh,
it
I
come
hate
from?
those.
I thought it was gonna be
Jesus,
like I thought it was gonna be Trouble or Eli.
Oh my gosh, I almost fell on a freaking chair. Why did it yell? Because I would have.
Just a huge
I
gasp.
did. But I just
Oh
saw this thing in
god.
the corner. I'm like, what the heck is that? Oh my god, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's so fucking funny. Oh my god.
I'm just so hungry out of nowhere. Jesus.
Oh my god. That's so
I'm gonna
funny.
get up, get something to eat. It's like 2 already. And I'm surprisingly hungry at this time. But I don't want to sleep.
You can go get a snack. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll probably go get a snack.
Y'all want to have
I
a
don't know what.
snack and bathroom break real quick?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's have a snack and bathroom break.
Mostly I feel like I just gotta blow
Break
my
time.
nose, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Small break.
Small interlude.
Yeah.
Verb.
I'm back. And everybody else is not. Okay, yeah. Well,
No,
sorry, I grabbed the crunchiest snack there was.
it's okay. I also grabbed some tea biscuits because I wasn't. I'm hungry, but not like ridiculously hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So I just grabbed some tea biscuits and made myself some tea. Yep. But yeah, we're just waiting. Laura hasn't come back yet, right?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Oh, now you want to act fine, you crackhead. Never mind. I spoke too soon. I
Mm-hmm.
spoke too soon. We were going down the stairs just fine, and then I talked, and it's like, oh, you want to talk smack right now? All right.
That's
We're
why
gonna
you
lag so damn
think it
hard.
internally.
Mm-hmm. I've been down that side. I almost died. Let's go down the other way. I don't know why it's lagging so hard. 'Cause I don't know. I'll ask somebody about it because now it's irritating me. The heck? The village.
I just realized you didn't include me in the
I
with
put because you're
portion.
not. I put that because you're not streaming, so
Yeah.
I also put you in there too since you're also talking.
God, I love salty chips. I have to say, your chat is pretty quiet, minus the
I know.
pokey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, Laura.
Hello, thank you.
Welcome back.
I was just like clearing my throat and shit. Well, also I was eating a snack, but I was like trying to be quick about it.
Can y'all hear me crunching?
I heard you before. I don't hear you now.
Okay.
I don't think Michaela's chat can hear the crunchings.
As long as
'Cause I can
nobody
go
hears
through.
my crunchy, I'm okay.
I
Well,
might can
even
go
if I
here.
hear you crunching a little bit, I think it'll be fine. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It reassures me that you guys are there and listening.
Well, that's the main thing.
And
Yeah.
it's fine
Okay,
if no
so
one in the chat is talking, 'cause, like, lurkers.
mhm.
Like, it's fine if they're lurking, like, you're listening, but they're not chatting.
Yeah, I want
That's
them to feel
fine.
comfortable, you know.
I
I
don't
I
mean,
want any lurkers, but
if me snacking helps y'all feel good, that's good for me because that means I can continue to eat my
Yeah.
crunchy chips.
All right. Well,
heck is villager?
if they've just joined,
Bro.
you're in for a story.
Yes, you are. Frick is this villager? I
Okay.
hear him. Where is he? He's hitting me now. Like his hat. 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 I'm like, what? Where are you? I can hear you.
I love it. All right. It's after I've got my tray of food that I notice how the tables are set up. There are 8 long tables, each set a few feet away from each counter. Each one has gold markings in the center belonging to their head god. There's also a gold chair that faces away from the counters with the god's emblem. The rest of the chairs match the table. Ours is red. A glance at the table on either side reveals the chair cushions to the right are a soft yellow, while the ones to the left are a royal blue. So the pattern continues. The separation starts early. When I look towards the back, though, facing the student's door, there are other tables. Smaller circular tables, an extra 1 or 2 for each of the long ones. I can still see the color scheme going on, but it feels less like an offense if I were to sit here with the girls and ask them to join me at my Pantheon's table. I set my food down, sitting with my back to the back wall, so I can see everything. The windows, the doorway, the student's door entrance, and the other tables. Before I start eating, I pull out the handbook I got from the student store and flip through the regulations. From what I can see, there isn't a rule that says we need to sit at the assigned tables. Oh, it's obvious sitting here that's heavily encouraged, but there's no clear wording that says we can't. Still, a nagging voice whispers, "You'd really risk offending Jupiter like this?" I swallow, remembering the way he said my name. Domitia. How would it sound when said in anger? What would it feel like to offend him? I shove the book away and pull out my Mercury as I wait for them. Dad wanted to get me an iris, only the best for my daughter. And usually I do prefer anything goddess affiliated, but it just seemed unreasonably expensive. I think Dad wanted to get me an iris because I'm a demigod. He wanted to compensate by making it clear that he's around, since the brand is usually associated with godlings, since Iris is the messenger for the Olympians. It's like the difference between an Android and an iPhone. Bragging rights. Supposedly, an Iris has exclusive features, but a Mercury is more practical, or at least, that's how I feel. Besides, when Dad handed me the Iris, it felt so delicate in my hand that I was sure I would break it, so I got the Mercury. My phone is pretty sturdy, which I'm delighted by. It's like me, it can handle a tumble, and I got to keep my old phone number. Anyways, I didn't see the point in an Iris. Like a brand could prevent people from finding out that I have human blood in my veins. I'm not going to try to hide. I welcome the challenge that will come with it. It's not going to stop me from doing what I want. Anyways, my mom's a total badass. How could I be ashamed to have her blood in me? She has the god of domination wrapped around her finger. Who else can say they breathed life back into a fading god and changed his purpose? I scroll through my Mercury until I find the clock app. I just got it a week ago, so I still haven't fully figured out where everything is, and I mess around with the placement of some apps. I sip on my lemonade lightly while I ignore the eyes I feel on me. This isn't my first time being gawped at, and it won't be my last. Side effect of being a love god. We're irresistible, Dad once said. Thankfully, there aren't many people around yet. I set alarms on my phone for the schedule as I wait for them. To be fair, it's not really much of a schedule. There's really only 2 classes listed. A history class, which takes place in the Colosseum, and an ability practice class, which is on the field. The rest of the schedule shows when the dining hall and the other facilities are open or closed. On the back, there's a simplified map of the campus. The map shows the buildings surrounded by the forest, and there's a general arrow past the classroom that simply says temples. I'll have to look into those later. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, iron. Nice.
If I need to stop crunching at any time, just let me know.
Oh well. Oh god. GameStop. Doing what you're doing.
You're good. I gotta clean my glasses.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to do this before we started, and now I'm just like, okay. It's bothering me. Okay. I check my messages when it hardly takes 2 minutes. I'm mourning the fact that I didn't exchange numbers with the two beauties from earlier when I get a text from an unknown number. How's the new school? It's been a while, eh? Odd. Maybe it's a wrong number or a scam. I'm about to delete it when another comes in from that same number. Miss me, Demidia? V. A chill, and then a surge of heat flowed through me so quickly I'm almost dizzy. I can practically hear the way the nickname sounds in his dulcet sottovoce. The odd squirm in my stomach is eclipsed by a sharp pang through my core when I catch a familiar figure out of the corner of my eye. Relief washes through me when it's just Ava entering the dining hall. I wave to catch her attention.
That's odd.
Ava says as she strides over.
I'm gonna grab some food.
What's odd? And yeah, go ahead. I'll watch your stuff. Ava drops her bag onto the chair to the right of me.
Seems like they want to separate. Seems like they want to segregate us.
Well, it's a little understandable. This is a lot of sexy for one table. I love that we actually laughed at that one. I had so much fun writing these sometimes. I wink, unable to keep the giggle in when she smiles. Ava goes to get her food as Kami walks in. Kami drops her stuff off on the other side of Ava's bag before she goes to grab her own food, both getting into their Pantheon's lines. Luckily, there still aren't many people here, so they don't have to wait long. Ava rejoins me with a gyro, some fries, and a piece of baklava on her tray.
Should we sit at our own tables?
I can't blame her for feeling wary. I feel it too. Jupiter seemed mild enough, but I'd still hate to disrespect him. Well, my tour finished 15 minutes ago, so I have had time to look at the handbook. There isn't a rule stating that we have to sit at the designated tables. It's implied, but nowhere does it strictly say it. If it is, then I'd rather sit outside. I grin when she seems to relax. The food smells amazing at least, I add, and she smiles.
True, it does. As long as we're good to sit together, it shouldn't be a problem.
It should be fine. There's no rule about pantheons not being allowed to interact with each other. Not to mention that Jupiter seemed to encourage it earlier, but I don't know if his co-enforcer feels the same way. My phone buzzes in my hand as Kami starts to walk back over. I've missed you. Meet anyone of interest? Anyone that I should know about? V. I can't help the frown. I can't believe he has the gall to ask and to say and ask such things. Leave it to him to piss me off when he isn't even around. I want to answer. I want to tell him that I don't share the sentiment and that it's none of his fucking business. But I know that answering, even rudely, would give him what he wants. He wants my attention. He doesn't deserve it. He knows he doesn't. Yet he still finds it in him to ask. There's a small whisper that says I should feel proud he feels confident enough to, but my irritation wins. He's just going to have to wait his turn until I'm free. I'd be well within my rights to make him wait just as long as he made me wait. Maybe even twice as long. When Kami rejoins us with a bowl of ramen and some shrimp tempura on her tray, I set my phone down to eat. It didn't feel right eating when no one else had their food. Luckily, I didn't have to wait long. When I glance up, I realize our table is getting a lot of odd looks. Although, we're not the only ones. There are a few people that when they sit down at their tables, the others immediately move further away to avoid them, and they slowly move towards the ends of the benches near us to make the others comfortable. Kami watches them closely. The connection snaps into place. She's one of them, a death goddess. I'm not sure how I missed it before. The threat feels muted. Maybe she has more control of her abilities, or perhaps she has a cross of other gods that make it take a back seat. The look on her face makes me want to invite them all to join us. It makes my heart ache when I see anyone getting excluded. Before I can invite anyone to join us, a guy from the Greek line fully ignores his table. He takes a seat at the table to the right of us. His hoodie has a pair of scissors on the back. He's got a heavy feeling about him. A guy and girl that were sitting at the end of their tables joined him, even though it didn't seem like they cared that they were getting ignored. The girl momentarily pauses and taps another girl at the end of the Greek table. It's sad to see them get treated like this, but I'm glad that they have grouped up so easily. I haven't seen the girl I tried to talk to yet. I notice there is one who hasn't moved. He's still sitting at the very end of his table. He's got dirty blonde hair. It's the shade that people describe as mousy. It's at that awkward, slightly too long but not long enough length. It's got some nice waves in it, more curls than mine. He's got a defined jaw and high cheekbones that make his cheeks appear slightly sunken. Compared to everyone else at his table, he looks shrimpy. Of course, he's sitting at the Norse table where most of the guys are built like Vikings, so he sticks out. It's not just that he is thin, but he could sooner pass for 16 or 18 than 21. Most of the males at his table seem to have some form of facial hair, but he's baby-faced. He's wearing a short-sleeved navy button-up, faded gray jeans, and some black bracelets around his wrists. Another glance at Kami's face and my resolve hardens. I don't have to imagine what it feels like to be an outcast at your own table. "Hey," I call as I stand. He's not the only one to look up, but he is the first. I cringe when I see that he flinches away from my voice, but I'm glad that he's quick to react. "Come here," I gesture for him to join us. I bite the tip of my tongue when I realize that while I said it gently enough, it still sounds like an order. Old habits. That, and I haven't socialized with anyone normal in a while. Damn. At least I managed not to infuse my voice with intention. He has a choice. I'm pleased when he seems relieved instead of offended. As he stands, the beefy blonde guy sitting nearest him speaks up. He reminds me of He reminds me of... I'm good. It's just, getting tongue-tied, Jesus. He reminds me of Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
His hair is that perfect length. He's tall with a broad chest and neat beard. "Hey, you're supposed to be at this table, right?" The guy has an English accent. Yeah. His voice sounds so small, and there's an accent I can't place. "Then sit down." He starts to sit back down, but he looks at me with wide eyes. He would rather join us. There's a fierce burn in my chest that won't let me ignore his plea. He can sit wherever he damn well pleases. There's no rule that you have to sit at your table, and before he stood up, you were all avoiding him. If he's too much for you to handle, then I'm all too happy to take him off your hands. I look back at him. "You're welcome to join us. Vieniki," I say, gesturing for him to come over again. He glances at the other guy as he picks his tray up and walks over, looking grateful despite that we can all hear the guy grumble, "You can't be serious." The boy keeps his eyes downcast, but I see a small smile as he sets his tray down next to me, and I can't help but mirror it. I want to soothe his anxiety. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to soothe his anxiety. I'm soft for open, watery eyes. "Let him go. We don't want a thief like him around anyways," says the dark-haired guy sitting across from the blonde, his back to us. He also has an English accent. I glare at the back of his handsomely groomed head. The boy makes himself small as he takes the seat beside me, as though that comment would make me send him away. I want to assure him that he is not the problem here. "What a rude prick," I huff as I sit down. I know I can be assertive and aggressive, but I'm not a bully. My actions are never unprompted.
There's always going to be those rude assholes.
Kami sighs. As I debate pulling my pomegranate out and throwing it at his head, Ava stands. A few strides and she's behind him. I see the blonde try to warn the dark-haired one when...
Watch yourself before milk isn't the only thing you're drowning in.
Ava says as she tips her carton over his lovely short curls. My heart gives an odd thump, and then I can't contain my laugh. I've always enjoyed seeing people do what I want, but it's been a while since someone did it without prompting. I forgot how nice it is to feel tuned into someone.
Drink. You seem like you could use it.
Ava offers a flask to the pale boy as she returns to her seat. Wait, did you have to? He flinches and shrinks towards me as the two guys stand from the table. The dark-haired one that insulted him starts to turn and glare at us. The phone in my hand buzzes. I hadn't even realized I grabbed it. Another message. I miss you, Demetia. Please, goddess. I'm sorry. I'll take any punishment you see fit. I have to admit, remembering the way his voice sounds when he says things like this makes me smug. A step taken towards us makes my blood boil. Oh yes, the punishment will be divine. I am the goddess and I will set things right. I can practically hear him whispering in my ear. Put him in his place. Put him down. He belongs beneath your heel. Make sure he never forgets to pay his respects. Show him true divinity. He's not even here and he's tempting me. Always inciting me to do more damage. To punish. Sit your ass down. It takes me a moment to realize I've spoken out loud. Damn it. Oh well, I couldn't help it. I sigh, knowing things are going to escalate, but I'm also thrilled to see how this plays out. Excuse me? You heard me. I keep my eyes on my phone. It's irritating how assured I feel from his words on the screen, but it's also exhilarating. Empowering. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see his other friends starting to sit back down. I think I heard wrong, little girl. I can feel the heat inside me drawing up, and I can see it in my reflection on the phone's screen. My eyes have changed from their usual brown to pink. I'm in control. Let's see how well I do against another demigod. Trust me, little boy, when I say you couldn't handle my undivided attention, so you better sit your rude ass down before I stand up and make you wish you hadn't used that tone with me. I smirk. It's getting harder to control the urge not to look up. Oh, but it is a pleasant frustration. Waiting always is. Dag, just let it go. His friend the blonde mumbles, reaching out to stop him. No, I want an apology. He shrugs away from the hand on his shoulder. Don't be stupid. Dagger growls, ignoring his friend's warning as he takes a step towards me. If you take another step, you're going to really wish you hadn't. I allow my scalding intention to pour out from my lips as I raise my eyes, pinning him. Jesus.
You got it.
It was my alarm. I allow my scalding intention to pour out from my lips as I raise my eyes, pinning him in place, and I can see his thought process stop as I see his face for the first time. Cazzo, è attraente. Dark eyes, milky skin, stubble attractively shadows his jawline. A mustache and a faint soul patch draw attention to his lips. Even dripping milk, his hair has nice waves to it, and I can see small dark studs in both earlobes. Still, an ass is an ass. I flick my eyes down from his face briefly. He exhales as I look at what he's wearing to give him a chance to steady himself. He's wearing a charcoal blazer, a casual white collared shirt. His jeans are faded dark blue and black Converse. He's lean, but I can see the subtle bulges his biceps and calves make. When my eyes get back to his, a flush has creeped up on his cheeks.
Sorry.
I love it.
The picture threw me off.
Yeah.
My brain did not realize it was my turn.
Yeah.
Run along, little boy. I made my warning clear, and I don't like to repeat myself.
Ava's voice reminds me why we are staring so intently at each other. Ava's features have shifted to those of a Gorgon's, snake-like and dangerous. She's gorgeous. Kami stands as her eyes begin to glow a violent red.
Hold on. You better run along now.
Dagger growls at us, barring sharp canines, but backs off. The other guy grabs his arm, steering him away. Probably to change his shirt. It's a shame. He was so attractive. I did enjoy seeing the dark fire in his eyes before he saw the one in mine. How quickly it stopped him in his tracks. How cute. Well, they won't bother us again. Hey, you look a little pale. Did we scare you? I can't help my reflexive grin when the question spills out. Sorry, what's your name, kid? I inwardly wince. Kid, he only looks young. I need to work on it. Oh, my name is Eagle. Call me Gil. He has a slight accent that I can't place. German, maybe? His voice lilts upward with it. Your names? He leans forward slightly. I'm Domitia, but give me any nickname you want. Ah, is Mila okay? Go ahead. Sounds good to me. I don't get that one often. He smiles shyly and nods politely. And you too? I gesture as I introduce Kami and Ava, including their possible nicknames. Both of them settle back into their chairs now that the threat is gone. Azumi. Okay, sounds cute. Gil has a twinkle in his eye when he sees Kami. Aw. Hello. He waves at us as he tucks a strand of hair behind his ear.
Hello.
Kami nods to Gil.
Hi, but seriously, take a drink. Maybe it'll put some hair on your chest.
Ava says as she slides her flask over to him. Gil raises it to his nose. What is it? He's apprehensive of taking a sip. He's already got an idea. Of course he does. It's in a flask.
It's alcohol. Trust me, it's good.
What? Are we even allowed to have this on school grounds? Gil hands it back, opting out. He casts an alarmed look around. More people are streaming in, filling up the tables.
There isn't a rule against it. Some gods accept alcohol as part of their offerings, so I can't imagine that they'd prohibit it.
I actually don't know if that was your line or mine, but it doesn't matter.
I would assume that's Ava's.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I think it is.
It's just allergy suddenly hit me and now I'm crying.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, I was doing so good and then my allergies were like, your eyes are dry and now I'm crying.
Just remember, ladies, reminder, I have 30 minutes.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I
Let's
knew
just
this would
try to
take
finish
longer.
chapter 2.
I know. Oh, God. Okay. I don't remember where chapter 2 ends, but I think it's close, sort of.
I don't remember.
But anyways, after you leave, I'll just continue reading, but I'll do your lines as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to mention that the legal drinking ages vary. I mean, in Italy, the age is 16, but also it's socially acceptable for that as long as your parents are around. I enjoy the occasional drink, but I'm always careful. I was raised to indulge in moderation, but I'll admit that sometimes I can lose track of myself when I'm having fun. Luckily, I haven't lost track with alcohol yet. I've managed to avoid ever getting buzzed. I like being in control. I can't deny that I'm curious, but I also don't want it to be added to my list of vices. I pick up habits easily. I pray that most of them are good. Where are you from? I asked to change the topic. Sweden. I'm from Sveg. It's a little farm town. Ah, that explains the accent. Who are you all related to? Gil asks innocently, glancing around at us. I start to cross my arms when I realize I'm acting defensive. Damn. I sigh when I see the worried look cross his face. He's just curious. He can't know how reluctant I am. I guess it can't be helped. I was hoping to avoid this question, but, well, I'll have to tell everyone tomorrow anyway, and the others in my pantheon already know. I bite my lip, preparing myself to be left sitting alone at the table when I'm done speaking. My dad is the Roman god Sebagus. I keep my eyes down on the table, expecting to see their trays disappear. I manage not to wince when Kami picks up her glass of water. So this is it.
Oh shoot, sorry. I was trying to figure out where.
I love it.
I'm sorry. Is Anami on my mom's side, Futsunushi on my dad's side?
Kami says after taking a sip. Huh? Sorry. Huh?
It's okay.
Gil can say that again. They aren't even reacting? Maybe they don't know about my father. Which gods are those? Sorry, I only know a few of the Norse gods. I don't even know how I got here. Gil chuckles as he scratches the back of his neck.
They're Japanese gods. It's okay, not everybody knows.
Jesus, I'm sorry, I hit the mic just now. That was so loud.
Okay.
Maybe that's it. Most who know their pantheon don't look for information on the other ones, so perhaps they don't know about Subagus. He is just a minor Roman god, just as I'm feeling relieved Ava meets my eye.
I'm sorry, that sucks, Dottie.
I feel like I've been slapped. She takes a sip from her flask before answering the question herself.
And I'm related to Seto and Dionysus.
So, both Ava and Kami are godlings with powerful ancestors. Of the ones you all named, I've only heard of Dionysus. Gil chuckles. That explains the alcohol. And the wine-colored hair. But what are the other gods known for? Oh, how rude of me. I'm the grandson of the Norse goddess Raun. It's funny. I'm not even really sure what she does. Raun. From what I remember of my studies, she's a very cool sea goddess. She's associated with storms and death. A death goddess. Gil squirms, looking down at his food wide-eyed. Wow, so he really didn't know anything about his ancestor. I wonder if he knows the stigma surrounding death deities, or if he's just uncomfortable with the responsibility. I know it's a reality for some godlings, but Dad also told me some have always had a suspicion of what type of deity they came from or saw signs since they were young. I've always known who Dad was and what he did, but some of it didn't make sense until I got older. That's when I started getting feelings, which I assume is what he meant by signs. Besides just being aware of the associations, like owls for Minerva. Well, she's only associated with death because she would either collect the dead in her net, or because she would drown sailors with it. A giggle slips out of the absurd idea that crosses my mind. Hey, if you start carrying a rope or a net around, I guarantee people will leave you alone. When I see the anxious crease in his brow, I feel like maybe he should start by drowning me. Oh, don't look so nervous. People giving you a wide berth isn't so bad. Trust me. Anyways, hang around us and no one should bother you. Oh, so how are you related to Raun? I smile, wanting to soothe. I'm reminded of that saying about how showing teeth in other species is considered a threat, so I press my lips together. Apparently my mom was one of her 9 children, but I couldn't find much information on them, just their names and that they personify the waves. Dad doesn't have pictures of her, so even if I met her, I'm not sure I could tell who my mom is. He focuses on his hands, fidgeting with them in his lap as he speaks. I can't help the frown that crosses my face at how horrible that sounds. That's terrible, not knowing. I'm not ecstatic about Dad's job, but thanks to him, I knew it was coming, and he's who taught me all about the other gods. I mean, I don't really agree with what he did, but he's still my dad. He's never treated me or Mom the way that everyone thinks. Wait, what does your dad do? He's around? Yeah, he's pretty much a stay-at-home dad. I bite the tip of my tongue before continuing, again bracing myself for the recoil. He's the Roman god that subdued the bride to her husband's will. And yes, that includes sexually. Oh, I see. So that's why you can just... He makes the same come here gesture I did. I can't help that my brows draw together. I know he meant it innocently, but I purposely didn't use my pheromones. Yes, but I'd like to point out that I didn't manipulate you here using my abilities. You're here of your own accord, not mine. You'd know if I had. Trust me. I don't like to use my abilities like that. It's forceful in a way I don't agree with. Not to mention that it can be hit or miss sometimes. Hit or miss. Again, his expression is innocent. I don't feel any hidden malice considering he's a demigod who didn't know anything of his ancestor, I can understand his curiosity. Sometimes it won't work. There's a little bit of a trick to it. It's true that how effective my pheromones are depends on a person's willpower, their stubbornness, and how trusting they are when I use them passively. It's a different story when I use intention. But you were going to use it on Dagger, and it might not have worked? I can see the anxiety on his face at the thought of that brute having done something to him or us. I soften my gaze purposefully. Recalling that brief sense of a threat makes me want to spill my pheromones out and change my eye color again. No, that would have definitely worked. See, I can't really make someone do something they don't want to. Or well, I can if I really push, but passively I can't. And if I push too hard, well, you get lasting side effects. People tend to get a little mindless. I bat away a memory. Anyway, if he tried anything, I would have told him to walk away, and considering who sat at this table, he would have wanted nothing more. He might have fronted on us, but I sensed his anxiety. Giving him an out would have been exactly what he wanted. Getting his butt kicked or making him pee his pants in the cafeteria would have been a lot more embarrassing than just some milk on his head. I don't feel the need to add that I'm fairly certain he was attracted to me, so he wouldn't have risked losing favor by attacking. Plus, there are gods in the room, although I doubt any of them felt the need to intervene over something so small. What? I ask when I notice him staring at me in awe. That's really smart. A slow smile spreads across his face. I just happen to know how to persuade people. You had questions, right? I returned to his look with a grin. Oh, right. His eyes returned to Kami's. So, what do Seto and Izanami do?
Izanami was the wife of Izanagi. She was the goddess of creation and death, but when she died giving birth to her son, who burned her, she went to Yomi, which is like her underworld in a way. She then became the queen of Yomi, the goddess of the dead.
Kami explains carefully. Sounds like the tales of Proserpina and Isis. I'll admit, the gods I spent time looking into were mostly the Romans, Greeks, Norse, and occasionally the Egyptians or Aztecs.
Seto is the goddess of the dangers of the sea, of the ocean, and sea monsters. She gave birth to a lot of monsters like the Gorgons and Sirens.
Seems both Kami and Ava have common abilities to what Gil can likely do. Although the fact that I picked them probably says more about me than them. For a love goddess, I've selected powerful, frightening friends. I suppose living with Dad has broken my danger meter, since I feel perfectly safe and comfortable. Then again, with Dad's reputation bound to me, perhaps it's only natural that I'd search for individuals who wouldn't be intimidated. See, another death goddess is at your table. You're in good company. And Seto has to do with storms, too, I believe. You fit right in. Don't sweat it. Gil smiles at my words, relaxing and starting to eat. His plate is surprisingly big with a lot of beef. Interesting. Oh, so then what does Futsunushi... Gil is interrupted when a guy with another tray walks over and sits down next to Gil. He's gorgeous. Nice cheekbones, tan skin, ear piercings, and thick, dark curly hair. When he sits down, I see something like recognition across Ava's face. Sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't resist joining you. I sense a discordant note. He grins at me as he leans forward to make direct eye contact. I'm struck by his eyes. I can't place the colors, they seem to change with every movement. What really catches my attention is his pupils. They're dilated. However, he doesn't smell of weed. They make him seem wild, animalistic. I can't take my eyes off his face. The gods personally sculpted this one. There's no way I'd believe any other explanation for such a beauty. Twin, it's your line.
Hold on. Sorry.
No, you're
Not
good.
at all. I was trying
Kami
to get
says.
the bee back in Eli's garden.
I love it. You're fine, I say, not missing the way his eyes glint or the faint smirk. There's the more the merrier, as long as you mind your manners, I grin back. There's something in the way he's looking at me that's familiar. Playful. Of course. In that case, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Cal.
Hi, Cal. I'm Ava. I'm the granddaughter of Dionysus and Seto.
Cal nods to her in greeting. There's a question in her eyes that he ignores.
It's nice to meet you, Cal.
Kami nods at him. Gil shifts in his seat, so his back is angled towards me as he faces Cal. His small indication of trust warms me. Nice to meet you, and your names? His eyes flicker to Gil and Kami before they settle back on me. I introduce both of them before myself when they both hesitate. Domitia, but call me whatever nickname you like. It's a pleasure, he smiles at me. No, he hasn't seen anything yet. He turns to Ava. Ah, Dionysus, was it? In that case, want this beer? A peace offering, if you'd like. I suspect he wouldn't like me.
No thanks. I'm good. Beer isn't my thing unless I'm doing keg stands to show off.
Beer? Is it good?
Kazumi asks as she takes a delicate bite of shrimp.
Not when the comparison It's our animal piss.
Ava wrinkles her nose. You're lost then, he tells Ava, giving Kami a grin. Let me check. Cal pops open his beer on the corner of the table, taking a sip before humming his appreciation. This is good stuff. Better than I expected. Want some? He offers it to Kami.
No thanks. Beer tastes weird to me.
Kami says as she sips her water. Cal shrugs and lightly knocks his beer against a tall mug Gil has. What's that you got there, kid? Huh? Oh, I'm not sure. Mind if I... Cal reaches for it. No, go ahead. Gil makes a small be my guest gesture. It doesn't smell like something I recognize, Gil says as Cal raises it to his nose. I think it's mead. Try it, you'll probably like it. It's funny. A lot of things that you think would taste disgusting can taste really good if it's something your ancestors used to eat. Won't I get drunk? Gil's fingertips hover over his bottom lip. His nails are painted black. I wonder if all the death gods have black stained cuticles, since Kami's are painted as well. I don't think this'll do it to you, although if it does, who cares? Not like we have class today, Cal grins. Gil shifts uncomfortably, partially towards me under Cal's gaze. How can I resist protecting him? Gil, if you're worried about it, then you can share with me. This is pink lemonade. I place it closer to him. Thank you. I'm kind of nervous. I've only tried alcohol once before, and I'm not a fan. Not sure what will happen if I do like it, though. There's something gray in his tone as it drifts. Meat isn't too bad. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
The one time.
Meat isn't too bad. It's sweet.
Ava says as she downs her wine. Yeah, try it before you pass it off. Cal lightly bumps his elbow against Gil's to encourage him. Gil shakes his head slightly, but takes a sip. He stares at it as a faint blush dusts his cheeks. He likes it. Good, right? Go on, you can keep drinking it, kid. It's yours. They gave it to you. Don't be a bad influence on the poor dear. I try to sound scornful, but I end up giggling. I don't approve of pushing someone to drink, but I got the feeling that Gil wasn't completely against it. He just needed encouragement and reassurance that it was fine. He wanted permission to indulge, but he also wanted an out so he knew it wouldn't be wasted. Cal chuckles. It's hard to resist, though. It's practically my job. Mischief is one of the things I'm supposed to live up to. I think you're managing just fine. You just joined the pariah table, I smirk. Oh, I know. I did it on purpose. He takes a bite of the steak on his plate. Want to try my meat? I look down at his plate. It's massive. You know it's coming. I love you too. God, stop. You're gonna make me...
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I tried.
The jokes write themselves. It was there.
Yeah,
They
it was wide open.
Oh my god. Okay. But it's because I have another joke written like so.
You gotta
Alright.
keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh god.
God.
I look down at his plate. It's massive. There's a slab of meat on it with garlic and onions. A wheat bread roll, some peas, a cucumber, grapes, dates, a slice of honey cake on the side. I have to admit, it does look good. Guys, stop. I'm not going to be able to get through this.
The jokes write themselves, okay?
No, more like I wrote the jokes.
I said, that's what she said.
More like I wrote the joke and I just... Oh, God. Oops, I'm sorry. I totally bonked my head on the mic and just didn't think about it. It's
okay.
just going to be loud for you guys. Oh, God.
Funny.
Oh, God. As soon as the joke comes to mind, I can't help but tease.
The Marine chat.
I lean forward with my eyes down, placing an elbow on the table, leaning my chin in my palm and tilting my head. I deliberately draw the tip of my tongue from my right canine to the other. His eyes follow each of my movements. As long as you're referring to the one on your plate, I say as I look up. He's delighted as he offers me a bite with onions on it. I can feel his pulse when I grab his wrist, and his pupils seem to dilate more as I make a show of leaning in and parting my lips. A faint gasp when I purposely close my teeth over the fork to draw the cut into my mouth. A warning, just in case he gets any ideas. I've made the joke, but I'll be damned if anyone thinks I don't control the pace. I don't just accept anything that's offered. I sit back as I chew. It's delicious. Savory and juicy with a hint of sweetness. My kind of meat. I nearly hum at the flavor. What do you think? Something in his voice sounds nervous? No, anticipatory is a better descriptor. It's adorable. He's eager to please. It's so sweet and tender. A flush across his face and he drops his eyes. Perhaps he hears the unsaid, like you. I follow his line of sight back down to his plate. From your plate, I'd guess Egyptian? I say after mulling over the possibilities. Oh, right. No, I just grabbed this one and no one stopped me. Keller grins and shrugs. Why are your plates so much bigger than ours, I ask, since Gil's plate is bigger as well. It'll be extremely disappointing and frustrating if it's because we're females. Oh, I asked the lady at my counter. She said it's because most Norse and Egyptian students only eat twice a day, following the old tradition, so they have bigger plates. But we can get smaller ones too, Gil says. I skipped breakfast, so I went for the biggest plate I saw, Cal chuckles. Actually, I'm from... It's Ava's line.
Oh. Hey, aren't you the guy that just walked up to Zeus and pulled your card from his hand before he called you?
Ava asks as she leans forward. Her eyes dart to mine, and he must see the approval because red blooms across his cheek. What a power move.
I was shocked. I mean, I don't know that anyone else could have gotten away with that. Well, maybe me, but he seems uncomfortable around you even during the tour. Why was that?
Ava raises a brow. I'm the son of Ati, he confesses to me, his lashes fluttering when he looks away briefly. Oh, so your reputation is just as colored as mine. I didn't really mean for it to come out as a purr, but when a boy looks at me like that, it awakens something feral in me. Ah, who are you stuck with? His voice colors with intrigue, a brow rising as his eyes wander over me, like he could guess from the way I look. Although perhaps he's just taking a chance to check me out. My father is a Roman god Sabagus. I manage to sound casual as I spear a piece of lasagna. Honestly, knowing his mom is Ati puts me at ease. Sure, he could be using his abilities to lure me, but now he knows that I could also use mine. And you said your name is Domitia? Another sharp burning sting across my back wakes me up. Yes, don't call me that again. Sorry, I'm gonna read that line again. But also I'm scrolling. Yes, but don't call me that again. The burn spills out of my lips before I can stop it. I refuse to tolerate disrespect, especially once boundaries have been explicitly established. Perhaps we should be wary of this one. Just making sure I heard right, he chuckles, hands momentarily up in surrender. He shouldn't have flashed... My thing suddenly disappeared. He shouldn't flash his wrist so willingly after such a misstep. You don't look like one. What a misnomer. Mind if I call you Domi? I'll admit, I'm a little surprised when that's the nickname he chooses. He pronounces it Do-me. It drains the fight out of me. I don't get that one often, though it might be my favorite. I don't get that either, so I like that one too. I give Ava a reassuring grin when her brow twitches. It sounds cute. I think it's adorable that that's the nickname she chose for me. It makes me think of the candies and how harmless it makes me sound. It contradicts with my nature, but sometimes I like to be sweet and non-threatening. I think Dom-me suits you. That may be a bit forward, he winks, having pronounced it this time like Dom-me. I can't help but laugh. Maybe if he begs. Well, aren't you a bold one? I look him up and down, his cheeks pinking prettily.
Get out of here. Ow, rude.
What happened? Are you getting killed?
There's a cat, and now there's a spider that's attacking me.
Oh my god.
Kitty.
I love it.
Let's keep it going. I want to be able to do the Zeus scene.
Oh my
go.
god. Ati, Gil asks tentatively. He's nervous about interrupting us, but I'm glad for the reminder. I need to slow things down. Besides, I find that Gil's wonder revitalizes my own. I can't believe I'm finally here. The daughter of Eris and suspectedly Zeus. Ati is the goddess of ruin, misfortune, evil, mischief, guilt, infatuation, obsession, delusion, and folly. She lured men to their demise. An original femme fatale. You do your research, Cal leans forward on the table. Dad wanted me to be ahead when I got here, so he made sure I studied. I really only remember the interesting ones, mostly females. She always sounded amazing to me. She's got power. Well, it's an honor to have my mother, and myself by extension, consider to be interesting. He grins as he resumes eating. Where are you from, Cal? I was born in Greece, but I was raised in Italy. I'm guessing you are too from your accent. You sound like home. Thank you, I think. I wasn't aware I had an accent. In fact, I've gotten some comments that when I speak English I sound American. I'm surprised you weren't raised where your mother was from. Well, I knew she was my mother, but I was only raised by my dad. Sis, that's your line.
Sorry. That happens a lot when gods are parents.
Ava says as she stands up.
Anyways, I'm gonna throw my trash away and turn in my tray. I'll be back.
Ava says as she walks off. Cal nods at her and I go back to finishing my food. I got distracted by all the talking and forgot about it. Gil and Kami don't seem to mind the silence. At first it makes my skin itch, but slowly I settle. The silence becomes comfortable. Alright, we got to the beginning of chapter 3. The difference...
So should I read this one?
will you be able to pronounce... Will you be able to pronounce... No. That's the thing. So do you want me to just read it and you do the lines? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 3, The Difference Time Makes. Listening to These Tables Are Numbered for a Reason, Honey. Panic at the Disco. Ava. As I leave the table, Shutikutli walks in with his arm around the shoulders of the last person I expected to see here. Ox. It's been a year, but I haven't stopped searching for him in crowds. To finally be seeing him is surreal. Right, but wrong. He's unmistakable, and now I see why Shutikutli looks so familiar. Their skin is the same warm clay color, the same black hair. The bags under Ox's eyes are new. His shoulders seem heavier. He's got a mustache, and he's got the start of a beard. Ox's hair is longer, just past that awkward length. It's got that messy, wind-tussled look that frames his face the way I like. He's hot as ever. Shutikutli is smiling and clearly showing him around from the hand gestures. Ox looks uncomfortable as they get trays together. His day is not going to get any better.
Ox?
I manage to keep my voice from shaking as I take 2 steps towards him. The last time we were in a room together, things got heated. I stay out of reach. He stops and stares. Shutikutli tilts his head when he notices Ox is no longer listening to him, but staring at me. He turns to face me and pats Ox's shoulder to get his attention before leaning towards him. A friend of yours. Yeah, hi, Ox is flustered. I'm going to get a table with the others. Join us if you feel up to it. Shutikutli walks off. Ox nods and swallows as he's left standing with me. His eyes dart to the door behind me. I can feel eyes on us. A glance and my suspicions are confirmed. Dot and Cal are watching. Dottie gives me an upward head nod that asks, "Who is he?" But after a moment she just nods and I feel a warm sensation settle on me. She's got my back. Hi, Ava. I didn't expect to see you here. As though that excuses everything. That irritation that I felt earlier when that ass was talking down to Gil and Domi comes back. I'm not who I used to be.
Of course you didn't. Hell, you left through a letter and disappeared. Of course you didn't expect me to end up here. I didn't expect you to be here either.
I catch his eyes drift to my throat, to the turquoise necklace that he gave me. I consider covering it with my hand, but refrain because I don't want him to read into it. It's just a necklace. It's pretty, and that's all there is to it.
Listen, just pretend you never saw me. I don't want to go back down memory lane anytime soon.
I smother the rest of the fury inside me as I rejoin the others. Part of me is satisfied by the struck expression he had, and that he didn't get the chance to get a word in. I don't want to hear his excuses or explanations. I want to be angry. I want to hold on to this feeling so I don't just fall back into his arms. He shouldn't get that. Not after he left like that.
Oh,
Twin.
an X.
Akami asks, eyes downcast.
Yeah, he broke up with me a year ago, but we were we were middle school sweethearts. And all this time, and all this time, this is the first time I've seen him since then.
I catch Ox hesitating to approach. I feel a warmth inside when Dottie catches his eye as he takes a step towards us. She scrutinizes his appearance, shakes her head like he isn't worthy, and makes a shoe gesture. He sighs and turns away to join his dad. The other gods that gave the tours are joining them at a gold table in the corner of the room. That sucks. I'm sorry, Dottie says, putting a hand near my arm. It seems like she wants to touch me, but refrains. I'm thankful she keeps her space. My arm feels like it's burning with the memory so close to the surface. Well, from the look on his face, I'm sure he regrets that decision. I can feel the guilt coming off him. Cal grins at me, and I do feel strangely reassured, even though his intense eyes give me the feeling that he's seeing through me. Serves him right, Dot nods. Looks like he's the son of that big shot. Cal nods his head towards Shutikutli, who is sitting at a gold table in the corner with the other head gods. It's when we glance over that Zeus stands and stalks towards our table. Oh shit, here comes Zeus. Cal shifts in his seat nervously, downing most of his beer before lowering his eyes. He seemed confident earlier, but perhaps it's because Dot is here that he's nervous. His eyes keep straying to her face. She must notice, right? Isn't he like your grandpa? Why you look nervous? Gil asks, putting his drink aside. He might be. No one is sure, and well, my mom kind of helped Hera pull one over on him, so he cast her out of Olympus. She's banned for eternity. I might be too, by extension. She rampages here on Earth now for her unfair treatment. Supposedly, if the stories are true, Cal fidgets, tapping his fingertips together. I like her. Don't worry, we've got your back. Anyways, I don't think he'll do anything to you, Dottie says, sipping her drink as she watches Zeus approach with mild interest. What's going on here? Zeus asks as he walks up to our table, hands clasped behind his back. I feel a spike of protectiveness at the subtle, admonishing tone he uses. We're not doing anything wrong. I already feel like a fight, energy buzzing around inside me dangerously. I will not be pushed around by another authoritative Greek asshole. I stand up on my seat so I can look him in the eyes and speak firmly. If anyone is going to tell Zeus off, it'll be me.
We are being friendly with our peers and future co-workers. Now, either you can be a snob, like everyone else, and be like we should be with others from our own pantheon, or you can be cool and join us. But if you try to put your dick in anyone here, I'll make something that will bite it off, and I'll give it to Hera. Your choice, sir.
Domi. Alright. When Ava stands up on that chair, I have to admit that for a brief moment, I'm worried. This is Zeus we're talking about. He would technically be her great-grandfather, but I'm not well read enough on Greek gods to know for sure how he'd treat her. However, as soon as she starts speaking, I can't help but feel odd. She sounds so sure. It's what I hope I seem like when I'm talking down to someone. Undeniably divine. However, when her words catch up to my ears, I have trouble not laughing outright. Kami is trying not to spit out her water. That's assuming Hera would even want it. I can't help myself. Once the joke is in my head, I need to share it.
I don't think it's wise to piss off the man whore.
Kami stage whispers. Zeus scowls at us. I try to cover my giggles with a cough, but I can't hide that I'm delighted. Cal snorts and earns a glare from Zeus, but he still seems to be struggling to keep his laughter in. Gil has gone pale. He's probably regretting sitting with us now, and I do feel bad for contributing to his discomfort. And who do you lot belong to? Zeus asks, clearing his throat as he straightens his tie, ignoring what's been said. Playing it classy, I suppose. He does cut an elegant image. The picture of a controlled storm. There's a warm static in the air around us. Grand Moraun. Gil squirms under his gaze. Zeus's searching eyes land on me, and I feel his energy buzzing against my skin. His feels less pleasant than Jupiter's. All repressed irritation. I sigh. You probably know and like my dad. Subagus. A good man. I'm surprised he hasn't taught you. He taught me well. Taught me to be just like him. Don't take shit from anyone you don't respect. I interrupt, feeling another flare of heat at the insinuation. I'm sure everyone imagines that since his nature is to tame and subdue, that he's molded Mom and I to his preference. I'd rather be feared than assumed to be harmless. And you, he focuses his judgmental gaze on Cal. Auntie, son. Cal lowers his head, examining his knees. I taste burning copper. As much as I enjoy a boy humbled, I dislike that he feels shame over being born, as if due to his circumstances it takes audacity to exist. I suspected a bad seed, Zeus mumbles. I've never felt such a searing urge to slap a god. Actually, I gathered everyone at the table. I raised my chin. I might bare my throat, but make no mistake that it's anything but a challenge. When Zeus glares down at me, I have to swallow that heat that threatens to pour out. I have to be diplomatic, even though my nature demands otherwise. I will not give Zeus the chance to make any outrageous claims to ruin my future. He can pay for this later. I can be patient. Look, no one would have wanted us at our tables minus Ava here. She's your great-granddaughter, by the way, so I thought it'd be better if we sat at this one. What's the point of sitting where you're not wanted? Nowhere in the handbook does it say we need to sit at one of those tables. An oversight, I assure you. I can see the twitch in his brow and the clench in his jaw. I feel a little satisfied when it's clear that I'm not the only one holding back. Well, the handbook is like our contract for attending this school. If you change it, it won't be in effect until after we leave. Or, at the earliest, it could be implemented next year. At least, that's how I think grandfathering works. I'm sure I could get Mom to help me make a case. Zeus releases an irritated huff from his nose. You can try to intimidate me all you like. My father is Subicus after all. It will not work. And you both are. She mentioned you're my great-granddaughter. Zeus turns his electric eyes back to Ava and Kami. I answer for them to turn a sharp gaze back on me and mentally kick myself when I do. They are strong, independent women that don't need me shielding them. Zeus's brow furrows at both of them. I catch movement just behind Zeus as a man walks in from an entrance that is partially hidden in the left of the room near the table closest to the corner by the food counters. The table where all the head gods are sitting. A movement at the table draws my attention, and I see Jupiter's shoulders shaking as he tries not to laugh. We make eye contact, and I feel that static buzzing again, which is gentler now. His amusement is an electrical current under my skin. It's in my blood, and I can taste it when I exhale. It's something as blue, crisp, and clear as his eyes. He winks at me, and any reservations I had about how to address Zeus melt away. I have Jupiter's blessing. Dad mentioned that Jupiter and Zeus don't get along, and not to worry about any trouble Zeus might give. Zeus may be a king among gods, but he is not our king. Despite their similarities, Zeus cannot police us. We should answer respectfully to all gods, but Jupiter is the only one whose orders we must follow. Zeus cannot order me around. Actually, now that I think about it, even when Zeus first approached, I didn't feel the power in his voice the way I did with Jupiter. My attention returns to the unknown man who is now walking towards us. He wasn't at the entrance hall earlier today, so he must not be a head god. He's beautiful. There's a dainty softness to his features and physique. He has a friendly face. The only hint to his irritation is a small crease between his dark brows. When the light catches his dark wavy curls, it reveals that they're a deep purple auburn color, like Ava's. Wine-colored. When he's so close, I notice his eyes are a pale green that's almost white and full of intrigue. Dionysus. Oh, what do we have here? Dionysus comes to stand beside Zeus. There isn't much resemblance other than the intensity of their gaze. Your granddaughter is causing a... Is that so? We'll gut on her. Get out of here. I'll deal with this. Zeus scowls when he's cut off, but he walks back to his table, taking his restless energy with him. Kami sticks her tongue out at Zeus as he walks off.
Hold on. My thing is being...
I love it. She mutters as I watch him return to his seat beside Jupiter, who seems delighted by his annoyance. I can't read lips or hear what they're saying, but I don't need to know that Jupiter is teasing him lightheartedly. Dionysus chuckles as he sits down across from Ava, his back to the room. Hey, kiddo, I heard you were coming. Wondered when I'd get the chance to meet you. His eyes seem to dance as he addresses Ava. I think I see more resemblance between Dionysus and Jupiter than with Zeus. I wonder if Bacchus has a similar appearance, or if, like Zeus and Jupiter, there are differences. Jupiter reminds me of a gentle rain, and Zeus is a demanding clear sky. Ava smiles and settles back down into her seat.
Hey, Grandpa. Sorry if I got you in trouble with your dad, but it's fair to say today has not been what I expected. seeing an ex for the first time in a year, and most of our pantheon being snobs. I like these people and I'm gonna hang out with them. Fuck any rules.
That's my girl. Dionysus grins at her. I don't mind. Wouldn't be the first time, and unfortunately, snobs aren't uncommon here. They all think they'll be gods at this point. They'll get more humble as the year goes on. An ex, huh? Want to tell me about it? Maybe I could do something.
Tell me how to pronounce it again?
Shoot to
How do I
Kutli.
pronounce it? I don't think so. He's a descendant of Zhutkutli. At least I think that's his name. I think he might be his son, so.
Ah. Well, I could persuade Ziyu to keep him away from you, but other than that, I don't think so. Fortunately, Ziyu is pretty relaxed. Not like Dad, who constantly has to stick up his ass for one reason or another. Dionysus grins, but then his jaws. I love that because we know secret shit, so we're all giggling. But then his brows draws together slightly. He shifts as he seems to realize that he's sat next to Cal, staring at him for a moment. Hello, Cal says when he can't help but fill the silence. Who's your ancestor? Ati. Oh, that's why. He notices Cal's discomfort and continues, Relax. I won't take what your mother did out on you, despite how uneasy this feels. I'm not sure that sounds as comforting as it's meant to. Cal ducks his head as he finishes his beer. He picks up a grape from his plate. Did these come from your vineyard, sir? Saw that, did you? They are. They grew well this year, thanks to the help of a few relatives. Dionysus smiles, pleased. I saw it in the back. Zeus was eager to leave me behind on the tour, so I wandered a bit. Dionysus nods understandingly. Ava grins.
Maybe I'll check it out soon. We shall see.
She steals a grape from Cal. They're so sweet. They're so sweet. I'll have to sample the wine that this makes, Cal says with a playful grin. Dionysus leans forward conspiratorially. Oh, I'll insist when they're ready. I may not be able to join them anymore, but I will live vicariously.
Thanks for covering us, Grandpa. I do appreciate it, but I really wasn't going to roll over to that dick lead.
And you shouldn't. I don't mind. I don't like him around my grandbabies. Ava smiles and hugs her grandpa. Dionysus is more than happy to return it. Have you met any of your cousins yet? Dionysus pats her back.
Not yet.
Ava pulls away sheepishly. There are a few here. I hope you all get along. You're the newest one. I think they'll all like you.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I do hope I live up to your name.
Dionysus smiles at her words. Well, I believe you're doing a terrific job so far. Dionysus ruffles her hair gently. Ava sits back smiling, and I can't help but smile too.
And I'm gonna duck
Yeah,
out
you gotta
here.
go.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all have fun.
Fine.
Yeah,
Love
we will.
y'all.
Bye, love you.
Mwah.
Mwah. Oh god, that was fun. I love that.
I did too.
I'm gonna mark where we stopped, but I mean, I can also continue. What do you think? Should we continue or should we like? Because if I call it,
I don't know.
I'm surprised we actually got. It's not that late. I was
This
expecting
far.
it to be like 4 when we got to this part. Honestly,
I mean, it's almost 4. It's like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
before.
but I don't know. I expected to be like 4:30 or something when we got to here. Considering this is like,
Yeah.
okay. I do want to read to the end of this chapter, but I'm like, let me see how far that is.
I don't know how far that is either. Let me see.
Oh, it's actually okay. So that would be page 73, and we're on 65 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
that's
we can
not.
save that for another day.
I mean, the thing is, I could also read it. It's just like,
You could.
it's not that many pages.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, it's not like
That's up
before
to
where I was
you.
like, oh.
Yeah.
I do want to read it, but I also feel like I'm probably going to end up reading this chapter again at some point.
Yeah.
I like. Maybe we can get Eli on here, because I did like it when he was listening to it.
Mhm.
Because I feel like he's paying attention, you know what I mean?
Mhm. I feel like anyone else who is, they're just not chatting.
Oh, I hope they're liking
They're
it.
just.
But yeah. let's see. Okay, I'll keep going. I catch Kami's head as it moves sharply. Following the movement, I see another person walking towards us. Someone close to our age. You're
It look like
12. I love you.
leave me alone. No one cares.
Oh God. I haven't gotten to it yet. What?
I'm already looking at it. That's
Oh, okay.
I already know what like Kami like in my head is like, go away, you're annoying. Like,
Yeah.
why are you go hang out with your own age?
We haven't even got to it. She's reacting. I love it. He looks like a
Yeah, she's like,
K-pop
go hang out with
star.
someone your own age.
Yeah. No, you're good. He looks like a K-pop star. Kind of baby face. Delicate features like a doll or an anime character. His hair pushed back out of his face. He's dressed all in black and there's an intense look in his dark eyes. It might be imagined. It might be because he's clearly an upperclassman. Or it could be because he's a death god. Kami sighs at him.
Go away, you'll embarrass me.
I lean to whisper to her, not taking my eyes off him. What is it? Hey, little sis, he coos us.
Oh,
He
I can tell you
slices.
a voice, but okay.
Oh, you can do it. Go ahead.
Okay. Never mind. I was really trying to make my voice sound deep, but I'm like, I can't anymore. I'm laughing. I'm laughing too hard to like get into character.
I try, but like sometimes my voice goes down just for Domi's voice too. So I'm like, I can't.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. Hey, little sis. He coos as he slides into the seat beside her.
I'll end you right here. Leave.
Kami scowls as he sits down and hugs her. Aw, trying to be tough. You can't take me down. Kami makes a face at him. His familiar and playful tone reminds me of someone else. My eyes drift to my phone briefly, but I haven't got another message. Well, he's cute. Ava grins at him, but she doesn't make any further advance. Aw, that's kind of nice that you have a sibling, although if you annoy her, we will kick you out of our table. I grin. Gil relaxes beside me.
I have multiple siblings, and they're all annoying.
Kami rolls her eyes at him. Rude. Aren't you going to introduce me, little one? Kami shoves a shrimp in his mouth. Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Kami tells him as he drops the end of the shrimp on her plate, wiping crumbs off with the back of his hand. I'm Yashi. It's nice to meet you. I'm a junior. He grins at us, shaking our hands as Kami introduces us. His hands are firm and calloused. You cool with it if I call you Ash, or do you like the whole thing? Cal shakes his hand. Sure, go ahead. Yashi turns back to Kami. Have you met with the rest of the family?
You haven't before.
Oh, that was cut off.
That was? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Let me do it again.
Yeah.
You act like we haven't before.
Kami huffs at him. Despite her protesting, I can tell that she feels more relaxed with him around. She's being more expressive than before. Aw, you guys are lucky. You have a bunch of family here. Hopefully that's good. I can't be sure. I know some people are annoyed or even hostile with their siblings. I notice as I take my last bite that Gil is more relaxed now that he's halfway through his plate. He doesn't look dangerously thin, but he doesn't seem entirely healthy. It might be his pallor that makes me anxious. Not unlike a corpse. Cal is almost done with his as well. Cal offers me some of his honey cake, which, if I'm being honest, I may have been eyeing. I'm pleased when the taste is on par with the smell and look of it. Still, I think I preferred the cheese bread version we have back home. That's your line, twin.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like looking at him like, I don't know. To me, it felt like a weird way to start off the conversation.
I think it's more like, it was just like a sidebar, like,
Yeah.
I know.
Our grandparents, specifically from our mom's side, birthed many of the Japanese gods. And my grandfather, we technically call Izanagi our grandpa, right?
Kami looks to Yashi for confirmation. Yeah, but he doesn't know most of the grandkids. He made many more after he closed the path to Yomi and shed his clothes in the water to cleanse himself. Our aunt was one of the gods giving tours.
Amatisaru. Yeah, she's one of the many aunts that we have.
I think the auntie got cut off.
Auntie Amatisaru. Yeah, she's one of the many aunts that we have.
See, that's the problem being from from any pantheon. Like, Zeus isn't just my great-grandpa, he's my third cousin. Ava leans her elbows on the table. Yeah, it's very confusing. Although with Dad, I don't know who his parents are or anything. There isn't a record. I'm not even sure he knows. So far as I know, it's only him. It seems nice to be surrounded by family. I kind of wish that my lineage was more fleshed out on Dad's side. I don't think the gods know where he came from. Like, some he may have just been conjured up because there was a need for him among the humans. Brought forth from the ether because a role needed to be filled. That sounded wrong. Sorry, I'm gonna say that again.
Okay.
Brought forth from the ether because the role needed to be filled. A lot less lonely, it seems. Cal leans back in his seat with a sigh.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know much of my family on either side, just Dad. I hope I get to eventually meet my mom and her sisters, Gil says, fidgeting with a string on his shirt.
Dad's side is a bit confusing.
Kami shares a look with Yashi, who nods. Well, sometimes with family it can be easy not to fit in or get along. Something sad twists Ava's tone. That's true, I suppose, but there's also the chance to get That's true, I suppose, but there's also the chance to get along really well. I slip my phone into my pocket since having it on the table makes it distracting. Oh, have you guys checked out the dorms? Are you guys staying on campus or commuting? Cal asks as he offers me the last bite of honey cake. Staying here. The vineyard we live at is a good ways away, Ava says. Twin.
I'm talking.
Oh, did you? I definitely didn't hear you say it.
It's staying.
Kami nods. Yeah, I'm staying. Too far to commute. If I'm honest, I'm a little nervous about this. If I'm honest, I'm a little nervous about this. I've always been kept close to home with my parents. Not to mention that I haven't slept by myself for over a year now. But there is something thrilling about a new place just as much as there's anxiety. It's like the novelty of sleeping at a hotel. Me as well, Gil says with a nod. I guess we should go find our dorms then. I'm guessing they're segregated too, Ava sighs. They're sort of segregated, but the hallways connect with no doors in between, so it'll be fine. I think the only one who might have a problem is Domi. Cal glances at me, a hand to his lips. Me? Why? Well, I didn't investigate it, but the rumor I heard is that all the gods having to do with love or sex are sectioned off at night from the others, you know. So disturbances aren't had, and supposedly they have roommates. I groan at the thought. Perhaps part of it is the thoughtful gesture, but having encountered Zeus, I can't help but wonder if there is a more oppressive reason. I wouldn't necessarily be troubled by this, but the idea that everyone would know why we're segregated would be embarrassing and irritating. Not to mention that I like to have my own space and privacy. It'd be irritating to tiptoe and feel self-conscious in my own room. Damn it, I hope that's not true. That could be extremely annoying. Although, considering who else is sitting at this table, I'm sure only Ava will have a roommate. The rest of us would cause too much trouble to be grouped up, and no one would want to be in a room with us, Cal says, shifting in his chair, trying to sound reassuring. He's sweet.
Hopefully I don't have to. Bleh. Hopefully I don't have one because I already share one with this one at home.
Kami points her thumb at Yashi. You love me, he teases, leaning close.
Do I?
Kami gives him a bored look, pushing him back a bit. Their antics are comforting. Well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I'm sure we'll have our own rooms. I'm just hoping there's a party tonight, Ava sips on her flask. Of course there will be. It's the first night back. Tartarus, if no one else does it, I'll do it, Dionysus answers with a chuckle. Thank the gods. I can't wait to get wasted and stir stuff up, Ava grins. Let's go see the dorms. I stand. The others follow suit. I'll check in on you later tonight then. See if I can find your cousins to get something started. Dionysus pats Ava's head and then heads off towards the private entrance he came in from. Cal holds a hand out towards me, and it takes me a moment to realize he's offering to take my tray. Well, isn't that adorable? I hand it over, sharing a sly smile with him. Grazie, bello. He beams at me. Gil takes Kami's from her. We wait for them to dispose of everything before heading out. Cal getting the door for us. What a gentleman. I like the way he ducks his head when his cheeks turn my favorite color. I have to bite my tongue to keep from saying, Bravo, ragazzo, or hai fatto così bene per me, which I know would make him swallow his tongue if his previous reactions are anything to go by. Not yet, it's too soon. I watch Ava from the corner of my eye as they lead the way back to the dorms. She carries herself with great dignity and poise, but her eyes flick around us. To try to put her and Cal at ease, I lead them through the Greek entrance because it's one of the middle buildings. Plus, I hope it's a big middle finger to Zeus for trying to police us. I do half expect to not be allowed. I do half expect not to be allowed entrance, even though there isn't a door. All the entrances are grand archways, and I can't help but think it must be symbolic. There aren't any more closed doors in our future. I cast a glance on either side of me, and the hallways are connected through another series of archways. These seem more uniform. A glimpse of each section's wallpaper can be seen here at the right angles. From what I glimpse, the Chinese at the far end have a red and black color scheme. The Japanese have a jade green one. The Egyptians a honey yellow. The Romans another rich red gold color with gold. The Greeks a deep blue with silver. The Norse a light blue-gray. The Mayas an orange-brown color, and the Aztecs a turquoise. Each section seems to have its own common room area that's also through an archway, along with a set of stairs up to the second floor. I wonder if the hallways will still lead into one another upstairs. Only one way to find out. When we get to the top of the stairs, there's a door in front of us and behind us. The hallways do connect. There aren't any more archways, but the color schemes are still present. I wonder if they err on the side of 13 or 12 on both sides to house the potential 25 students. Dad mentioned that each year has their own floor in the dorms except the seniors. Seniors are hardly ever on campus. They're usually shadowing the type of god that they'll be. Wow, this looks nice, Yashi murmurs as he inspects the ceiling. I raise a brow at him.
It is huge.
Kami nods next to him as she examines the wallpaper. Yeah, I know. We're 12. Oh, God. He's a junior, but he hasn't been in this hallway. He catches my eye and elaborates. I'm going to read that again. He's a junior, but he hasn't been in this hallway. He catches my eye and elaborates. I don't usually walk all the way down here. I usually stick to the Japanese section. Also, every year they update the look. That checks out. The gods are fickle. Oh, wow. It's impressive, Gil says, looking at the patterned ceiling. White marble with a silver trim in the section. I'm jostled from my musings and admiration of the grand decor when... I'm jostled from my musings and admiration of the grand decor when Ava whispers, Cal, do you have my back? 'Cause me standing up to Zeus like that probably gave me some enemies. Ava says as she casts an anxious eye down the long hallway. Of course. I don't think anyone will mess with you, though. I mean, Dionysus is known for his rages, too, and he's probably the most fun, so I'm sure they won't give you trouble, he smiles. We've got your back. We got your back. This place is huge, I smile, hoping to soothe her. Thanks, Ava nods, but her arms are crossed over her chest. Cal pulls out a key from his pocket, and I'm reminded of my own. He holds it up, and I can see 13M is inscribed. Huh, maybe they aren't superstitious then. Somehow, it doesn't seem accidental that a son of Ati got the number 13. He glances around briefly, turning to face me, so he's facing towards the Roman hallway. Then he checks the numbers on the doors and moves to the furthest end of the hallway on our left. His room is one of the furthest from the stairs. The rooms we're facing when we walk up the stairs are for the girls, it seems. They're numbered with an F accompanying them. My room is this one. I'm glad that they don't separate boys and girls' dorms, Cal says, and I don't miss how his eyes fall on my hand as I fish my own key out of the pocket. 7F. Can you help me find mine, Cal? Ava asks. Sure, show me your key. It's got the room number on it. It should be taped to the schedule, Cal says. Ava pulls hers out and offers it to him. You got 4F. Mine's 13M, by the way, which looks like the last of the guys' rooms. Here, this way. He leads her close to the stairs and stops at the fourth door on the right, handing the key back to her. Here you go. Thank you. I suppose I'll see you all at dinner. Hopefully Ox doesn't track me down in the meantime, but I'm sure it'll be sooner at the party. Ava looks down. I can't help but wonder if she's trying to get me or Cal to stay with her. I can't help but wonder if she's trying to get me or Cal to stay with her. I have to wonder if her ex is aggressive or if she's afraid of him. But then that scene in the dining hall.
Yeah, I'll see you at dinner.
Kami says over her shoulder as Yashi leads her down the corridor past the Romans, further and further away to the Japanese section. Something about her feels distant, lonely. Aw, see you guys then. I wave to her and Ava, who nods as she slips into her room. I'm gonna find my room. I fully intend to go on my own when Cal speaks up, tapping my shoulder. Hold on. In that case, I'll help you and Gil. Let's escort Gil to his room, make sure no one harasses him. He winks at Gil as he hooks an elbow with him. He bats his lashes at me to emphasize how pleading his eyes look. I'm not sure why I felt like his eyes made him look feral. Now they remind me of doe eyes. Sounds like a plan. Come on. I hook an arm with Gil, who seems flustered to find himself once again caught between the two of us. I have to admit that I find Gil's shyness comforting and Cal's eagerness charming. The north section is just past the Greek section, so we don't have to go far. Gil has room 6M there. There's a muted feel with the blue-gray coloring that suits him somehow. After that, Kel tries to follow me to my room, but I wave him off, leaving him at his room. Adorable as he is, I don't feel comfortable having him follow me to my room. He gives me puffy vibes. Now, let me say that again. He gives me puppy vibes. Perhaps it's his eyes, but I think it's more his eagerness. It's sweet, but there have been a few irritating pups in my past that didn't understand boundaries. Luckily, he seems receptive to the stay command. I want to read that again. Okay, hold on. He gives me puppy vibes. Perhaps it's his eyes, but I think it's more his eagerness. It's sweet, but there have been a few irritating pups in my past that didn't understand boundaries. Luckily, he seems receptive to the stay command. However, when I get to my room, I find myself wary of stepping inside. I doubt the rumors are true, but I can't shake this uneasiness. I sigh and turn back to the stairs. I'll go check out the temples in the hopes that paying my respects will ease my anxiety. And there, we finished it. It's because next is chapter 4, which is under construction.
Yeah. That hasn't been worked on in a while, but that's totally fine. You should, what you should
Don't
do?
expose me. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, you know what? You should. Oh god. What you should do is kind of what I did yesterday with like do like a co-working stream where like you're working on if you want to work on it on stream, but like not showing them like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I know some people do that, so then like
But
no one gets
isn't
the
that just the
roast.
same as what I'm doing right now, which is I have a just chatting stream?
Yeah, of course it would be under just chatting because there's no like co-working stream, but like you could do that.
Oh, okay. It's not like its own category?
No, it's not. It's just a tag.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like, I'm
You could
sort
do,
of
like, a
busy.
thing- Yeah, but like I want to stream it because I know some people stream like them working or working on stuff for like streaming stuff or adding stuff to stream or whatnot.
Yeah.
They do like they call it a co-working stream because you're working, but also like some people do it also like let's say I don't know, some people have trouble doing homework or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like that
And then they
ADHD, right? It's like,
Yeah,
if you have trouble just doing work on your own, if you know someone else is doing it, you're like, I gotta do it.
like that.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was tempted the other day when you told me about it, that you were doing one. I was tempted to be like, oh, I'll do the same thing. And then, well, not the same, like, I wouldn't be streaming it, but I was like, I was going to work with you, like, work alongside. But then I was like, oh, I was in the middle of, like, the Danganronpa thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Is Ruby back?
Hi.
Welcome back, sis.
Yes, I'm here.
Unfortunately, we finished. We, finished, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, we've just been talking.
Yeah. Because, what do they call it? We finished the the thingy. We finished the fourth
Who took my
chapter.
plate?
We got to chapter 4, and then I was like, it's under construction. We're not reading that.
Yeah.
Although I would
And then I was
love.
telling Laura that she could do it like a they call it a co-working stream where you're working too, and but also like people are also so it's to maybe help people that also probably have trouble doing stuff. Watching someone else kind of helps them.
Yeah.
So she could do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I could, because then I feel like someone's watching me as I work, and I would probably get writing done.
Yeah.
I need you guys to watch my ass and be like, Laura, are you typing? And I'd be like, no, I'm looking at my phone.
Some people keep like their mic on, others don't. It all depends on like the person.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having the mic on. I mean, because then you can hear if I'm typing or not, right? That also sounds like
Yeah.
typing would be kind of comforting ASMR, maybe.
Some people like hearing the typing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You can do that.
So yeah, maybe. But yeah, I was telling Michaela the other day when she started a stream where she was doing that. I was like, oh, I'm tempted to pull up DU and actually get work done. But then I was like, but I was in the middle of streaming a video game, and I was like, I don't want to stop here in the middle of the class trial for Danganronpa. Oh, I do want to stream more of that one. That one's so much fun.
I'm watching you play it.
Oh my god. Dude, did you see the execution that was happening in the last one? It was amazing.
I think I did, but I'm not 100% sure.
I thought it was so fun. Nick showed up just as the execution was happening. I was like, Trouble, you're here. I was like, you showed up at the best moment, because this is the moment, like, I've been waiting for, and it's so funny. Because, like,
Yeah.
2 seconds later, Dunga... Yeah.
He knows he's trouble.
Yeah, he knows he's trouble. He likes to be called it, too. Well, also, last time I called him Nick, he was like, it's trouble. And I was like, okay, hi, trouble.
And he's like, you know what? Call me trouble. I like that better.
Yeah, no, he loves it. I was just... So, I'm like, why not? I got permission. And then whenever you and I play like a Minecraft, I immediately start flirting with you, so it's really funny.
I know.
I'm like, I'm in Minecraft with Michaela, I have permission. Like it's so fun. Oh gosh. Oh god. But yeah. Now we're just hanging out.
In Nick's realm, and then I totally forgot because we were doing this. So it's just like, let me not do something that's going to distract me
Yeah.
entirely. I mean, I kind of was getting distracted because I was like looking at that, scrolling. Oh shit.
Yeah.
To see where we were, and then I just kept getting distracted. I'm like, oh wait, hold on, that's my part.
Yeah. But I did
Yeah.
like this.
I did too.
Plus I liked
'Cause
like
I feel like I need work.
Because
What do you
I
mean?
know whenever somebody gets to, let's see, which one, 200K.
Yeah?
When I could read a chapter from a fanfic I wrote, and I am not ready for that. I know this can take a long time, but
What would it
I know certain people that are gonna save up their points just so I can read one.
like me?
Yes.
to be fair though, I like if you want me to, I'll read it for you.
No, I'll read it. I find reading it is just like, I hate to say this because then like, I mean, I wrote most of these when I was like 15, 16, 17, maybe 18. And like, I hate to say it, but most of them are like K-pop fanfics.
Oh, okay.
So like, that's kind of like the little embarrassing part
Yeah,
for me. Because like, I wrote this, and like, the thing is like, a lot of the times when I was reading a lot of them, there's a lot of like shipping going on. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like shipping people together.
The
especially
fandoms were
when
active
they're in
then.
the same group.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in like the same group. I'm like, that's assuming that everyone's thinking that the members are gay for each other.
Mhm.
And, like, even if they were, like, we're never gonna fully know because like even if they did come out, they would be like, let's just say it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Korea's very backwards.
Yeah.
But
Was that conservative? Yeah.
But Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just make my own, like an OC, and have that be a thing. So that's what most of them are. Minus, I think one, because one of my friends says, "Why don't you do it, but you do like a gender bender?" And I was like, "I guess."
Because then you know for sure it's like fantasy. Like there's
Yeah, of
definitely
course.
there's some OOC stuff going on there.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's
like
fair.
yeah. It's like the character. It's like whoever the. Why is hold on? I gotta fix something real quick.
Okay.
I don't know why I keep showing up like two things of like. I put English and then it shows like English, and I'm like, no. Why is there like two
Oh, the tags, you mean?
things? Yeah, the tags. I don't know why. Damn it.
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, I hope I didn't miss too many of my lines.
um, no, because when we checked,
I
I was
missed like
like,
3 or 4.
yeah, when you left, I was like, oh, I was looking and I was like, oh, we only got like 6 more pages. I'm like, well, I'm gonna finish it
Yeah.
then. Like, cause Michaela was
Yeah.
like, oh, we could put a pin in it and just return to it. And I'm like, honestly, I'm probably gonna end up reading this again for one of Michaela's streams at some point, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
just because
When you get more
Hopefully,
done
we'll
with it.
have more practice.
Yeah.
we'll get
Agreed.
better at it. I like honestly, I feel like the
Yeah.
first time I read it for your stream, I did so well, and this time I was like, why am I fucking up so much? Um, and then we got to the part where I hadn't read it yet, and I was like back to like, okay, this like, I feel like I'm reading it normally again. I don't know. It's like my brain was like, I just want to catch up to that one part, and so I was like rushing, and then I was tripping over words, and I was like,
Right.
ah, I was getting annoyed with myself,
Right.
and now it's like, oh, we're good. I don't know why I was freaking out.
Oh my gosh, I know why my thing is acting up. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna end stream because now my thing is acting up.
Y'all didn't
Oh, we're
hear
done.
that.
What? No, we
Nothing.
actually didn't hear
You
it.
didn't hear it. You didn't hear it. Okay, good.
Oh no! Damn
'Cause my
it!
butt sounded like a machine gun.
That's
How's
amazing.
my baby doing?
Ah,
I
I
should
love
do a
it.
head patch, but I can't.
Oh Lord, I just realized everybody in this chat in the streams can hear me.
Yes.
Shit.
I love it.
But yeah, I'm probably gonna end it in a little bit. I don't know who I'm gonna raid because most people that I normally would raid at this time they're not on yet. And by the
Yeah.
time that I would like, I'm gonna have to be in class soon, so I have to go get ready. Maybe take a shower, put whatever in the oven, etc., etc., etc.
I mean, I might still be streaming. I might change from just chatting and I might do Danganronpa. I don't know. I'm debating.
I'll probably be lurking or something. I think I know who I might raid.
Do it. Do
I'm
it.
not so sure. Because I am normally kind of, sort of, uh, in his chat, but not all the time.
Yeah.
But he is a very sweet person. And he is playing Final Fantasy IV Rebirth. I mean,
Ooh.
7 Rebirth. Like, my brain went, what? What did you just say?
Yeah.
Wrong game. 7. So, probably reading to him. He is Noah the Otter. He is a otter VTuber. And he loves retro games, animation, and spreading awareness on neurodiversity. We're gonna go rate him. Okay. Yes, Laura was done reading. Thank you for all who stuck around, whether you were lurking or chatting. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening.
We're going to go raid Noah in a couple seconds. As long as this thing starts working.
Bye, lovelies.
I love you. Bye. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. And bye.
Bye, lovelies.